Hello and welcome to the first Grey Mason Gaming video of Blood on the Clocktower. In this video we're going to be playing the game over text on the unofficial Discord server. It's a nice way to introduce to the game. It gives people a little bit more time, although you lose some of the social read interactions. But let's get started. I'm here with Nexus, who's going to be the storyteller for this game. Nexus, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what's special about this particular script.
Hello, I am Nexus. I'm the ST of this game, and I will be co-hosting with Grey Mason. This script is a real cluster. Because in the script, there is a lot of ways for evil to manipulate info. There's the Legion that can manipulate members. There's the Vortox that always gives false info. The Nodashi that can give some people false info, and that could be a really big differentiator. There is Lamatsu that can hop the token, and also you don't really know what you are 100% always in the script sometimes, because if you're the demon you might be a lunatic, if you're townsfolk you might be the marionette, and there's so much ways that you can be manipulated with this.
Yeah, no, it looks like most of the characters are from the base 3 scripts, but there are a few experimental characters I noticed on here, like the Poppy Grower and Legion. Any ones you would want to kind of call attention to?
I would say in a normal game of the script, you should definitely fear being called the marionette, because if you believe you're the marionette and you're not the marionette, evil gains another good voting power. And in the script where voting power can be very detrimental, like if a legion tells you that you're the marionette and you believe it, well, oh my, that's a free legion win right there.
All right. Well, that's probably a good overview, and then as soon as we finish gathering up the rest of the players, we'll be able to actually go over the grim that we have set up for this game. All right, so now that we've talked about what the script is, Nexus, why don't you tell us about the grim that you put together for this game?
Alright, in this Grim, we have 5 good players. One of them is the Outsider. Let's start with the Outsider, Ends. Ends is this game's lunatic legion. They'll think they're the Legion, but they're not actually with the Legion. And guess what? All of the Legion will learn that Ends is the lunatic. So Ends will be a pretty good vote for the Legion if they can coordinate with Ends to make sure that their secret does not come out. However, Ends needs to slowly and surely figure out they're the Legion. They're not Legion by several ways. And one of those ways is Groot the Undertaker. Groot can, if Ends is executed, Groot can check Ends and learn they're the lunatic. And that could be a big spoiler. Now it's up to Ends if they can believe Groot or not. Groot is gonna have a hard time this game, struggling to figure out if it's Vortox, Nodashi, or Legion, because they will receive a lot of players are minions once Legion is executed, or they might even get Legion once. It doesn't matter, but Groot will definitely struggle to find out which one it is. We also have Dread the Poppy Grower. Dread will make sure that all the Legion don't know who they are, including the Lunatic Legion, who's been told they are poppy grown. In this game, the Legion will probably bluff similar bluffs. I give most of the Legion bluffs that you can be really open about, like Pixie. I gave Savant, so a lot of SD consults are possible, and also I gave them Fortune Teller, but I don't know if they will use Fortune Teller. We have on the top Aistadar, our empath, who will get in 1. Now, Aistadar might struggle to believe their info, but it's not that bogus to where they won't believe their info. They neighbor Doll, Legion 1, and Morgan, Artist. If Morgan is executed, then Doll might get a little more heat. But it doesn't matter because they'll still be getting the empath 1. In addition, Aistadar might think it's a Vortox world with the good players being Dull and Morgan, etc. And finally, we'll go to Morgan, our artist. who we put in there because we didn't want a savant, but also Morgan might not use their question correctly and might Vortox check. And who knows? We might believe Morgan. Anyways, our Legion is very spread out. Two of them are in the top left of the Grim, so they can chat with there, and most of them are in the bottom left, bottom, and they, once the Poppy Grower dies, can have some easy neighbor communication.
So if you're Legion, what's your goal here with the Poppy Grower? You don't know who the rest of Legion are. What should they be trying to do?
Legion should be trying to find themselves, but not too obviously. Legion can claim similar bluffs, like most of the time I'll give at least one similar buff. Example being, I gave a lot of the Legion Fortune Teller Pixie Savant, and I plan to. And if you hear a lot of Fortune Tellers around, then maybe that might be a hint. It's Legion. They're Legion with you. But also, it's not only the evil players that are trying to find each other. If the good players catch on that it's a Legion game, the good players might intentionally deceive the Legion into thinking they are Legion by doing things like visiting the storyteller when they don't need to.
Yeah. Now, there's no poison. There's no drunkenness in this game, so all the information the good team's getting is true. What's their key to success?
Their key to success is deciphering the puzzle, because at the end of the day, it will come down to whether or not they can believe ends or not. And if they don't, well, oh well. Also, it comes down to how much info that the good team is willing to give to each other to help solve the game. And also, it comes down to every single good player's vote. Because if one player votes incorrectly, it might be detrimental.
Yeah, excellent. Well, this looks like it'll be an exciting game. Let's go ahead and start the night. The large presence of a big hand appears in front of you. A dark presence has swirled you. Something mysterious grows inside of you. It appears you've morphed into some sort of a polydactyl, one with many allies and few foes. You are the Legion.
Ah, amazing chaos. Love the Legion. I'm excited for this.
Oh, no. I was prepared for anything but this.
Oh boy.
Lunatic confirmed. Ah, Legion Poppy Grower, eh? This'll be fun.
You are a compassionate fellow, one whose heart expands beyond their own containment, a heart aching for love too, but you're a giver, one who fills up the donation box weekly. However, your heart seems to be sad. A mysterious spirit has arrived in town, but you'll know what happens. You are your own loving ways. You are the empath.
Not evil enough, but that's okay. I like empath. I predict I'm going to have some wild predictions and accidentally steer the town in the complete wrong direction several times.
The scene of a large garden encompasses some houses, but you cannot seem to notice what in the pitch darkness of the night. Maybe it's in the scene of your own delirium. It cannot be. Your scene guides you to an evil in the area, a demon, or maybe more, or heck, just a bunch of fools who started a revolution. Whatever the case is, if there's any time to grow these flowers, it's now. You are the Poppy Grower.
I'm kind of excited. And very nervous at the same time. Poppy Grower is such a powerful townsfolk. But at the same time I'm a bit scared that I might mess up when it comes to bluffing. I only plan on hinting towards me being Poppy Grower to one person and that's it. I just hope it's not a Legion game or I'm the marionette.
Sketches of several things. Paintings extending beyond several. A Bob Ross of this town, some might say. You blush in admiration, but nothing more than that. Your painting turns blood red, and then your paint on your brush turned a darker tint red, twice. There's something wrong with this town. You try to open the door, nothing. It's locked shut. Your windows are taped shut to the floor. You are the artist.
Okay.
Have fun. You are the undertaker.
I fucking knew you were going to do that. I was literally thinking about it last night. And decided you were going to give me Undertaker no matter what. There wasn't any point in thinking otherwise. Of course now I should actually study the role list more. Oh, there's a marionette on this script. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Would you?
You wake up. The 12 of you are in a creepy forest. The sky has a purplish tint. The scent of murder surrounds you as you look for your two friends. In the middle of a creek, the bodies of Gray Mason and Nexus can be found. How could this be? Is there a murderer amongst you? A demon or a bunch of minions is amongst you. Kill them. 12 are alive.
Hello. I have no specific reason to talk to you. Just saw you online. What sort of claim do you want to do? I am happy with any number.
I will do a 2 for 2. I'm either the poppy grower or the savant. If I am the savant, I will wait a bit to talk to the storyteller.
I'll say I am the artist or the puzzle master. Not got much else to say. Shall we end here?
Yeah, sounds good.
Shall we 2 for 2? I'm oracle or snitch.
I am the general or savant.
Hello. Want to just hard claim? I can go first if you like.
Howdy. To be honest, I am hesitant to just outright hard claim. I would rather do a 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 and revisit later.
That's fine. I'm down to do multiple claims too. Okay. I'm either the savant or the farmer. Feel free to give me 3 if you want.
Cool. I'm the general or savant. If you are the savant you wouldn't have gotten info yet. Same with me.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to take a stab and say you aren't the savant.
I am going to take a stab and say you are. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Alright, sounds like an agreement.
I am kind of leaning into bluffing savant or artist for a while. So double claims might come up later. It is actually nice we chatted.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I always do this, and I'll probably regret it. But I need someone to trust, and it may as well be you, I suppose. I lied to you. I am the empath. And I got a 1. Don't tell Morgan any of this info please.
Oh okay. I was about to be like, oh I want to meta the general info, but ha 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 ha. Don't worry. I won't tell Morgan.
You are legit the only person I'm going to tell this to for several days.
I don't know if you've had neighbor talk yet, but do you have any leanings on which side?
I've only spoke to Morgan so far and I don't have a read either way. I'm not in a position to 100% trust my info right now either. My main concern right now is figuring out if there are any sources of poisonings going on. Vortox, No Dashi, and Puzzle Maker seem to be the only sources.
Yeah, that's fair. Haven't talked with many people, but I'll keep an ear out for a puzzle master.
I'm kind of worried about maybe a Legion game with the snitch being on script too. That would be strong. And a poppy grower too. That would actually be super neat. LOL.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Hello there. Feel up to being the only person I hard claim to this game.
Or, I will reciprocate.
Actually, probably not wise on that. I'm Undertaker.
Okay. Then, maybe not.
I haven't quite decided what I'm going to bluff as, but I'm leaning towards farmer or general as my claims to other people.
I'll tell you I am not an outsider.
Ah, so Legion then.
Spot on.
Hello. Shall we 2 for 2?
Let's do something fun. 2 good, 1 bad roll? Of course, I just want to see memes that people make because I have no clue what's on the script.
Sure, why not? Have to look at the bad rolls again, though. I am either the general, farmer or Serenovus.
I am either the fortune teller, the farmer, or Legion. With a lunatic. Hello. So wanna do a meme trade? 1 evil roll and 4 good rolls.
Hello. Sure. Claim some bold options.
Great. I am either the empath, fortune teller, farmer, or chef if I am good. Or Legion with a lunatic if evil.
I am either the drunk, lunatic, amnesiac, or artist if good. I am the Serenovus if evil.
I'll say my lunatic was. Rolling dice. Ends.
Okay. Well, if I was an artist, I asked if you were on my team and got a yes. Even though we shouldn't learn our team. I broke the rules. Let's nerf that poppy grower.
Of course my Legion.
Hello. How are you doing? Want to do a 3 for 3?
Yeah. I am fine hard claiming too. If you want.
I don't mind if you want to, but I'm not comfortable hard claiming quite yet. I'm sorry.
Understandable. I will give 3 to then. I am the Serenovus, lunatic or artist.
I could be the general, the savant, or the artist.
Ha 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 ha.
So, you are the artist? Lol.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Makes sense. Okay, I do believe that. Do you plan on asking a Vortox question?
No? That is boring.
That is fair.
Can you give me your hypothetical general and savant info?
If general, I got that the good team is currently winning. If savant, I got 2 players received false info last night, or, there is a Legion in this game.
Spicy. Very spicy. The savant pointing out Legion.
If I was a savant, I'm inclined to believe that the Legion bit is a lie, based on some other info I got.
Or, you could be Legion with a savant bluff. Trying to sell that this isn't Legion. But when it eventually looks like Legion, you can say you were just mistaken.
That's true, I suppose. This is a spicy script for Legion. Snitch, Poppy Grower, Legion would be a fun game.
This could be especially true if there is a lunatic that thinks they are another demon. And you are trying to sell that the lunatic demon as the real one.
Lol, I'm not that smart. But true, that is a possibility. I'm not trying to sell you anything, those are all valid worldviews for sure. I tell you I was good, but that's a waste of breath. Well, I think this was a good chat. I believe it would be a good use to use the artist question to ask a Vortox question so we can narrow down poison sources, but I am absolutely not in the business of telling other people how to play. So that is just my opinion.
It's okay. I can tell you I can't do that. I've already asked my question. I asked if there is a Serenovus in play. And the answer was yes.
Okay. That could be one of 3 things. I'm kind of leaning towards you not being the artist, but being Serenovus right now. Also totally could just be a Serenovus in play. Or poisoned, of course.
Well, in both cases there is a Serenovus in play.
True. But I am going to assume you are still the artist. Anything else to discuss?
No. I think that is it for now. Good luck and good game.
So, anyone willing to bite the Vortox bullet today?
We could, just play chicken. And not execute.
Ah, so Aistadar is the Vortox. Got it.
Lol. No, I'm the goblin.
Hello. How much do you want to share? I've been doing 2s with most people, but I'm up for basically anything.
I've mostly been doing 3s. I could do a 2 though, I suppose.
Nah, 3 works for me. I am either the general, the puzzle master, or the farmer.
I am the artist, savant or the general, and cool. That is the second outsider I have heard of, but of course no confirms. So, if I am the artist, I've already asked my question, and unfortunately it wasn't the Vortox question.
Didn't think about it, or just asked something else just in case?
I didn't think about it until after. I haven't studied the script as well as I probably should have.
I have seen 4 people visit with the storyteller. And only 2 roles require it. So, we've definitely got some bluffers going on.
Oh, for sure. But that could be good bluffing to protect them as well. I have one hard claim, who I've also hard claimed to, and I won't be hard claiming to anyone else for several nights.
Makes sense. Tends to be the way I try to play things too.
You feel good about any nominations for today? If we don't want to play Vortox Chicken, we have to execute someone. I don't really have suspicion on anyone, but of the people I've spoken to, Morgan and Pedro should both be okay to die.
Morgan said he'd be okay to die, just not night 1. I don't really know anything about Pedro though. However, I have heard of a potential evil ping on ends, and of the roles he gave me, one should be fine to die, the other has been duplicated elsewhere.
I don't want to doubt them, but I think they should be okay. The evil ping would been from a fortune teller, I'm guessing. I currently feel very good about ends. If we have to execute someone, and the others are ruled out, it's fine. But he is my most trusted player at the moment.
Well, what's your read on Dull? I've talked to Morgan, and have my own perspective there, but since I haven't gotten to Dull and you probably have, especially since you said Ends is your number 1, I'm curious.
I have literally only gotten claims from them. And nothing else. I have no read on them, unfortunately. That being said, of their 3 claims, 2 of them are unlikely, due to double claims. And to be honest, the Savant is being claimed by just about everyone this game for some reason.
Savant's a nice one to bluff, I think. Gives you free reign on info to throw into town if you can couch it right. And isn't necessarily an early threat to evil, so can be somewhat survivable. That's my guess anyway. Of course, it could also be that everyone claiming Savant is actually Legion.
Hello. Want to do hard claims?
Sure. I'm the general.
I'm the savant. Interesting, I've heard quite a few people claiming general. Are you willing to share what you got told night 1?
I was told that good is currently winning. Interesting how there's multiple general claims.
Maybe it is a Legion game. But to be fair, I think general is a pretty safe thing to bluff when you're a good player. But I'm going to assume you're actually the general.
I'll assume that you're actually the savant.
Yeah, I'm the savant. Here's the paraphrased info I got told. I don't know if it's too harmful if you're evil and you get this. My 2 statements were: 1. There are exactly 2 outsiders in play. 2. Exactly 1 player was given a token of the wrong alignment. I take this to mean, either there's a lunatic or marionette in play, or the Sentinel caused an outsider modification. Or we are in a Legion game. Because I think in that case, they can make the outsiders whatever.
Yeah, I think the number of outsiders can be arbitrary if Legion is in play. The only requirement is for Legion to outnumber good players.
So yeah, not much I can really base off of at this point, but wanted to get the info to one person.
Other than Legion paranoia, I don't think there's anything else I have to share right now.
Hello. So far I've been having fun with giving a 3 for 3. 2 good rolls and 1 evil? I don't know the script that well, and just trying to see what people come up with.
Sure. We can do that.
I am either the farmer, fortune teller, or Legion with a lunatic.
I am either the oracle, poppy grower, or goblin.
Honestly, at least it wasn't Serenovis. Multiple people told me that one. So what kind of reads have you got this game?
Honestly, I think it is Legion. I had 3 people put the same claim in their 2s.
Lol. Honestly, I'm doing this hoping for one to out to me. But it gets countered by one thing. No poppy grower. At that point they know I'm good anyway, so whatever. So far no one took the bait.
Okay, why not? I think we are on the same team.
Good team?
Obviously.
Ah, got my hopes up. How funny would it have been if you were about to out Legion?
Maybe I will.
It's not like, rolling dice, ends as the lunatic? Got like a 1 in 10 shot, right?
I wouldn't know. Ah, fuck it. I am Legion.
So, do you think I'm Legion, or good? How is this going to play out? Or just don't trust it?
Honestly, not sure. I know there is a poppy grower, and you will be the only one I out to, so if it backfires, I can just deny it.
Fair. Good choice. By the way, don't take my method please. Now, honestly you kind of have to vote with me. Because who knows, I might know other members. Okay, I'm all good if you are Legion.
Yes, sure. Thanks for chat.
Hello, Dolphin. You can give me 3 if you want. But I'm going to hard claim.
Hello. Okay. I am either the recluse, the chef or the poppy grower.
I said it in public and I was not lying. I am really the artist.
Did you ask about this being a Legion game?
Yes, I asked if we are in a Legion game and was told no. Morgan seems very convinced it's Legion. I don't know if that means he is evil or not.
I would like to nominate ends for execution. My accusation. Number 1. We have to feed the Vortox. Number 2. I have heard of a possible evil ping on him. Number 3. Of the roles he claimed to me, one is in a multiclaim, the other should be fine with dying.
My defense is that I am a good player, and as such I'd prefer not to die. I think there are better candidates out there. If people really need Vortox bait though, I can die.
Accusation. I don't have very strong feelings about this execution, but like Groot said, have to feed possible Vortox. And given the info we shared so far, I think Captain Morgan would be cool with this. I think it is a better kill than ends at the moment.
My defense is that what I claim to Itada. I would very much not like to die day 1. I find this quite suspicious from a player that is almost certainly in a double claim.
I would like to nominate Dull. My accusation is to provide town with more options. I am also 99% sure their profile pic is from one of my favorite shows, but who cares? More noms.
My defense. I'm definitely not the best kill here, but also, we don't know if it's a Vortox game. I'd rather die so the game continues than risk losing on the first day. I would like to nominate Mason. My accusation is to give more options to town. Also, I am 99% sure they recognize my profile pic. But who cares? More noms.
My defense. I believe it's Love is War. Fucking love the show. And just mostly caught up with the manga. Game related, def not the best. But probs not the worst Lamau.
I would like to nominate CB. My accusation is that I don't like the things they claimed with what I have heard from others.
My defense is that I'm pretty important to the structural integrity of our fine town. And also, if 3 others claimed what I claim, why me first?
Now that Captain Morgan thinks he's going to be executed, he wants to make sure his artist question gets asked and it gets an answer from it. So he asked the storytellers if CB, ends, Astadar contain 2 or more evils.
You learn a no.
Inhumane beings. Y'all claim it's time for Morgan to die. Morgan walks into a tavern and orders some rum. Little to their knowledge, once they drink the rum, it's actually poisoned and Morgan faints on the spot. Morgan is executed and dies. The game is not over. Everybody go to sleep. Alright, so Captain Morgan has been executed. What are your thoughts on day one?
We have 7 savants, apparently. That is hilarious to me. Um, t- for the good players and the evil players, it's definitely screaming Legion. There's barely any doubts that any Legion is actually a lunatic Legion. I think one of the thoughts that struck with me is Morgan's one of the first people, in the first couple of hours into the game, Morgan's like, "This is a Legion game." I've heard 3 people put Savant when they're doing 2 for 2s, and I was dying because of that. I think honestly that there's also the good players are acting a little sus. Dread and Aistadar both went to the storyteller, which is weird, right? Because they're not really Legion, but there's some doubt in that. Morgan asked the really clutch artist question, and that will definitely be really stinging on Morgan at the end of the game. But a lot of people right now think that Morgan is evil.
Yeah, now, of course, Groot's going to find out the truth soon enough, tonight.
It's about whether they believe they're the artist or not. It could be Vortox.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the only 2 Legion that really have confirmed each other is Mason and Pedro. Beyond that, Legion haven't talked to each other much, and when they have, they've gaslit each other, and I don't think anyone else is really clued in that they're on the same team. Although Mason's done an outstanding job really trying to give some clues that people should latch onto.
Yeah, Mason's done a really good job at trying to hint at Legion, but being really in the inner circles of good, because honestly, a couple of good players trust Mason, and that's going to be detrimental, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And to go back to the voting patterns today, what went on? They first wanted to feed the Vortox, so they really panicked at the end of the day, or towards the end of the day. They started nominating a bunch of people. They nominated Enz. Enz was put on the block for Vortox. Then they shifted. They almost tied, but Aestadar went, I don't like this, and voted on Morgan. So either way, they were losing a good player today.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the 3 other people that were nominated are Legion and weren't voted off. CB being the closest with 5.
Yep. Yeah, Asadar basically committed to Enz as, "I'm going to trust you," and really wanted Enz off the blocks and did everything they could to make sure he didn't die, because that was the one person that he told the truth to about being the empath.
Yep.
So, okay.
And also, it's pretty bad for Legion if Enz dies. So I think the Legion is also partially trying to keep Enz alive, or at least I can tell that CB is trying to keep Enz alive for now.
So Groot's going to learn that the artist was killed, whether he believes it or not. No matter who dies tonight, Astadar is going to get a 1, and we assume that Dull's going to get executed tomorrow because of that. Astadar, if he talks to Enz, will let him know, and then Enz may start to realize that maybe he is the lunatic, because he was suspect from the beginning.
Enz might start to think they're the lunatic because of Morgan's question. However, because there's a poppy grower alive, they might also think CB is good here.
Right.
And if CB is good, then oh well. I think our options for killing today are limited to killing between Evil D or Rob, because if we kill Dolph, then that's a wasted execution. Dolphin is also to keep that Empath 1 alive.
Mm-hmm.
CB is because that artist question was really strong. Pedro and Mason, both of them, I think, are a great start to finding the evil team together, so I think we should leave them together. I think between that, Evil D surrounding Pedro and Mason And I think if we kill Evil D, they might out to Evil D.
Okay. So you're thinking kill Rob or Evil D?
Yeah.
You want to flip a coin?
Ooh, that's spicy. I slightly think that Evil D is better because they might out to Evil D. Also, Evil D can back up into Pixie Artist or Puzzle Master.
Yeah, if we're looking at what they've been bluffing as, Rob has not really came out with any bluffs to anybody, where Evil D did come out as Pixie Artist, possibly. So,
All right. A lot of people think Pedro is Cero mad. So, because they're talking about the Serenovus a bit. So I think that's fair. So I think we can leave Pedro. Enz is bluffing Savant. CB is backing up to Poppy Grower, hopefully, and that's actually going to give some credibility. Dull is bluffing a bunch of stuff. They're not all of them are sort of taken, but Dull is definitely going to look evil here today. Mason is really good right now. They're fortune teller. Dolphin's bluffing Chef. I think they're also bluffing General sometimes. Depends. So if we want the Legion to stop double claiming each other, double claiming the good players, because right now Ents and CB are double claiming, Dull is doing whatever, and Evil D and Pedro are double claiming, but Pedro is definitely backing up into Artist.
Right.
While and CB hopefully or Ents hopefully backs up into Puzzle Master.
Yeah, and we'll see if people pivot, day 2. I mean, day 1 is always tricky with people just throwing things out and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. So what's it going to be, Evil D or Rob?
I think Evil D's slightly a better kill.
Okay. All right. So Evil D will die in the night, and Acidar will learn a 1. We'll show Groot the artist, and that's it for the night actions, right?
Yes. That's all.
All right.
Hopefully tomorrow Chaos does not break loose.
Well, hopefully it does.
And hopefully we have some order going around in town where the Legion isn't just gonna be going wild. But it'll be interesting to see what comes around in the bottom left corner. Hopefully they use their neighbor whispers wisely.
Yep. All right. Let's see what happens. So last night I prompted all the Legion players and the Lunatic with a question. Any thoughts on who the other Legion are? And this is the answers that I got.
Not yet. I've been laying low for now as the first day is usually chaotic.
I think Pedro is also Legion.
Clearly Morgan and Dread. Both came to me saying they are Legion. I got a perfect plan to find others. Ask. Hey, want a meme? I don't know this script at all, so just trying to find fun evil combos. And just give Legion with Lunatic is mine.
I think Groot and Itada could both be Legion. Might be coincidence, but one nominated the Lunatic, and the other specifically mentioned them in their nomination. That would be one person trying to get a good player on the block, and another trying to get a good vote on their side. Both could be Legion strategies.
Mason is definitely Legion. Mason had a great strategy to confirm himself as Legion by telling who the Lunatic is. The only problem is that I think he thinks I'm good. I think Ada Star is Legion too, but I'm not as certain. They could just be the general.
Well, a lot of people were whispering the storytellers. And many claiming general, which of course could just be bluff stuff, but it's certainly odd. No strong feelings on anyone being Legion or not. Only hard info I have is that at least one of the 7 people who voted on Morgan is good. And that could also include a lunatic, me. Ha ha ha. Tomorrow, I might just go out and say, hey, I know you're evil or something to try and see what happens. If it's Legion, it's not the end of the world if I get executed.
So I circled around with the good players and asked, what demon and minions do you think are in play in this game, and why? And this was their answers.
Well, I was thinking Legion until my question. So now I am between Little Monster and No Dashi.
I haven't been able to talk to that many players, so I don't have any information as to what the demon is, or what the minions are. Although with Enza's savant information, there could be a possible chance that the marionette is one of the minions. I don't think it's Legion, but that's mostly from me trying to meta the storytellers. I just don't find it fun for a Legion and Poppy Grower game.
Oh, I have no idea. Triple claims on Savant kind of leads to Legion, but it's also a decent bluff for just about anyone. I'm also paranoid that I'm a marionette. But I have no info in any direction.
I think it's a Lil Monster game, with at least a Serenovis. Serenovis because I believe Pedro. And Lil Monster because I think y'all would have fun with that.
And then I got a reaction from Groot in response to seeing Artist with the Undertaker ability.
I already had 2 artists on my Grim, damn it.
I'm sorry for nominating you. I am good. I am testing an Undertaker claim. Are you 100% the Oracle? I am the Empath.
Yes, I am the Oracle. Did you get a 0 or a 1 as Empath? Also, Pedro is in a double claim.
I got a 1, as Empath.
Hello. Are you still claiming Artist?
Yes.
Okay, it's just that I have a different claim of Artist.
That person is lying.
There is a pixie on the script, so maybe one of you is that?
Yeah. But not me. I'm 100% the artist. But I can believe that this person is Pixie or Serenovus mad. Is that person Groot? Is that why you wanted to talk to both of us?
Yes, it is. I wanted to see if either of you change your claim. If one of you is the Pixie, I think you have to try and use your question each day to see if you have the ability.
I am not the Pixie and I already used my artist question. So I'm not going to do that. But it makes sense. Actually, maybe I will do it. Just to confuse the evil team.
So you confirm that it is not a Legion game?
Yeah.
I faked using my artist or puzzle master guess yesterday when I was on the block. But I was actually the Oracle.
Ouch. Sorry for executing you. Losing Oracle is not good. I should have made conditional votes. Looks like there was a lift from Ace to you.
I was thinking it was Legion with how easy it to get me on the block as I was against it. I am keen to execute hands, with their claim. With Evil D dying, you were less likely to be next to a no-dashi, so only Vortox or Puzzle Master can mess with you. Not really got anything else to say. You will be the only person I tell the truth to today, in case there is an Undertaker.
Would you like to 3 for 3? Then I can give you some of my vibes on people if you want. And explain my captain nomination.
Sure. I don't mind going first. I am either the fortune teller, the oracle, or farmer.
I am either the artist, the savant, or the general. That's the same one I've been giving everyone, in the interest of clarity. And so, to answer your question from before, yes, savant has been in like 6, people's 3 for 3s and artist has been thrown around some as well. Regarding my nomination of Morgan, if he is to be trusted, I know his role and it isn't that important. I have also gotten an Undertaker claim elsewhere. Part of this is to test the Undertaker claim.
I see. Curious. I can't really comment much on that as, well, I don't know much. Ha ha ha. But it seems to make sense. 6 savants. Damn. Let's see how many of them visit today.
6 might be an exaggeration. I didn't count. But it's a lot.
I mean, who knows, I suppose one of them could be Serenovus mad. Maybe a hiding lunatic?
If I am, or if I have spoken to the artist the question asked was, is there a Sarah in play? The answer was yes. But we also don't know if it's a Vortox game yet.
True.
Hi there. I saw artist.
Yes. Well, that is correct.
Okay. Good to know.
So that means there is no Vortox.
From my standpoint at least, yes. I'm presuming you're late, and second storyteller consult was to use your question.
It was. Talking with Pedro, I feel like they are mad. Both yesterday and today they claimed artist to me.
Could be Pixie too. Though, I guess if he was Pixie artist, he'd be real artist now. Anyways, I will confirm that Astada, ENS, and CB all did claim Savant within their claims to me.
Astada has backed off it now, claiming something entirely different.
Okay. Good. Mason claimed fortune teller or farmer to me, and if fortune teller said he had a yes on Pedro and ENS.
Same claims to me.
Man, we really did talk to all the same people yesterday, didn't we? Okay. What's your thought on Demon now? Still think we might be in a Legion game? Because if so, we're probably already running out of goods.
I think my question rules out ENS as demon unless they are no dashi and you got shown good info. I asked, does Astada, ENS, Beam, formerly CB, contain 2 or more evils? The answer was, no.
So probably at least 2 of them are good. Doesn't rule out an Astada, no dashi, Beam something pairing, or an ENS no dashi poisoned legit info for me. But it's something.
Yes, most likely only 1 evil at most, but I was fully on the Legion train, so hopefully that rules it out. Sort of.
I'm probably going to go pretty quiet for the rest of today, try not to whisper anyone. As much as I want more info, not having that info now is probably better for me. Yeah, if there's at most 1 evil there, Legion seems less likely. I'd guess Little Monster, personally.
Seems like it to me.
I'm going to completely trust my own info here, though, and give you more. CB claimed Poppy Grower as well as Savant in his too. So, it's definitely possible we have an evil team that doesn't know each other, unless IMS is no dashi. Which could also explain a wrong Mason ping. I haven't tried to confirm yet with Beam if she's going to be as bold with that claim as he was. Could just as well be a cover for Farmer or something.
CB gave me those 2 as well. But I am unsure with the voting. If it is Poppy Grower, it did not seem too hard to get someone on the block who did not want to die.
Yeah, the votes for you were interesting. Successful voters day 1 were ENS, CB, Evil D, Pedro, Dolphin, Dull, Astada. I confirmed with Nexus that he wouldn't announce a failed vote for Legion until execution happens, so those are the only ones we can be 100% have a good in them. So, we have a probably mad Pedro, you are artist, my Undertaker. And a dead Evil D who is probably good since we don't think Legion now. There's no reason for a no dashi to take out their own minion. Could Pedro be a self-madding Syrian Ovis?
Unlikely for 2 days in a row. If it is no dashi, I feel like it is either IMS, Dread, or Dolphin with what else I know.
Yeah, that has the feel of a proper selection of evils. Some chef info could be helpful. Astada has backed off Savant, so his visit to ST was cover. That leaves ENS, Beam, Drade, and the probably mad Pedro who visited. Think there's a legit Savant in them?
Hard to say. Depends on who visits today. I will try and get a hard claim from ENS today.
Sounds good.
Hey. How spicy are you feeling?
Spicy. I've been meaning to do 2 good and 1 bad role swap. How about I'm the farmer, fortune teller or Legion with a lunatic?
Then I am the spy registering as good, the poppy grower, or a lunatic who thinks they are Legion, but didn't get the response I was looking for from a neighbor.
Same about the neighbor. Ha ha ha. And I'm curious if you are a lunatic, how did you find out so fast?
I asked Groot what his bluffs were.
Ha ha ha. Legion can get different bluffs, you know they don't all get the same ones.
I know, but they said they didn't get any. Then asked if I was snitch.
Ha ha ha. I guess Groot can't bluff evil. He gave me Sarah Novus by the way. But yeah, so I'm guessing you're Poppy Grower or lunatic. I don't read you as evil.
Well, if Groot is Legion, he is in deep undercover. For me. Screw it. I'll just say I'm Legion.
Who is the lunatic then?
One of the players in your fortune teller pings. But I'm happy to leave the ambiguity there since narrowing down isn't all that helpful. I'm also happy to share around your fortune teller information ambiguously if that works for you.
Go ahead. Groot is spreading day one information. And by the way, Morgan was 99% chance of being Legion.
Interesting. His whisper with CB was very short, so I got very little of use. Also, pretty sure if Legion, the Night Death is almost definitely Legion.
True. Probably only 3 good players, max 4. Let's leave things here.
You as bold as CB?
Yes. Poppy Grower. Demon come at me.
Okay then.
You?
Not narrowing yet.
Rude.
Hello. Would you like to 3 for 3, and we can maybe get into a bit of early world building?
Fine.
We don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm not sure if I want to. But I don't have lots of things to say either. I think I trust Pedro as the artist.
I do as well currently, but they could be Sarah mad. I am under the impression it's a Vortox game personally.
Yeah, seems like it. Do you have any evidence for that?
Yes, but I need to be vague about it. Either Doll is evil, or it's a Vortox game. There is an evil ping against them and their info they have told me is dead wrong. Or you are the no dashi, and there is a puzzle master making the evil ping source drunk.
I don't know about that.
And to be honest, your unwillingness to share anything with me makes me think you might be evil. Or the lunatic.
Well, at first I was open to share. I will do a 3 for 3.
I think it's a good idea, but I don't want to make you do anything you don't want to do. It just makes me suspicious.
To be honest, I don't want to do a 3 for 3. But I will if it is important to you.
Don't do it if you don't want to. I really don't want to make anyone do anything they are uncomfortable with. I just don't understand why you are hesitant.
Well, let's do a 3 for 3. I'm either Poppy Grower, Chef or General.
I'm either the artist, savant or general. I really hope you are the Poppy Grower, that would be super useful. Thanks for opening up to me, Dolphin. It really does help.
Hello. Want to start off with my meme 3 for 3? So it's pretty much 2 good rolls and 1 bad roll. Just to see what kind of bad combos we can find.
Ha ha ha. Sure.
For me, it is Fortune Teller, Farmer or Legion with a lunatic.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Spicy. I'm either the artist, savant, or general.
I don't think you understand my meme. I thought you were going to give me 2 good and 1 bad back. But with how much savant is being claimed, that's more or less an evil claim anyway. Honestly, I'm just trying to see if I can bait a Legion into claiming to me. So far, no luck. I think it's a different demon.
I think it's a Vortox. And I got some info to back it up. But not 100%. I have caught Dala in a lie. And I also have heard of a credible evil ping on him in the same night. So, that could be a few things. 1. They are just straight up evil. 2. It's Vortox and their info and also the evil ping are both wrong. 3. There is a no dashi next to them and the evil ping source is drunk by Puzzle Master. Also, If I am the artist or have spoken to the artist, the question was, is there a Serenovus in the game, and the answer was yes. I don't have good evidence that there is a Sarah in play. On the other hand, the sheer number of savants in the claims makes me think it could be Legion too.
A player could be mad locked. If I was mad, I'd definitely not break madness unless it's like Final 5, and we know there is at least one evil dead. Or as I was being executed.
I think if we could convince someone to break Madlock, it would be a good idea. It would confirm Vortox or not. Well, mostly. Assuming we trust the artist, me or otherwise.
I don't think so. There is still Lil Monster or no -E. Lil Monster, they could be in game with a Serenovus. The artist could be poisoned by a no-E or a no-E as Serenovus as a minion. Nothing confirms Vortox.
I don't think a no-E would be possible if all of the info I gave was poisoned. It couldn't have poisoned the evil Ping, Dull, and the artist. Unless Puzzle Master drunk.
Plus a thing about madness. If you break madness, there is two things that could go wrong. 1. If a player isn't being executed and breaks madness, good team loses a day and a good player most likely putting suspicion on another good player or saving the demon. 2. If a player were to break madness, they could be lying and never be able to pop. Or the storyteller cannot pop them. And we could be under the illusion that there is no Serenovus in game.
This game makes my damn head hurt. Ha ha ha. So, what do you think the best course of action would be? I don't know anything about Beam, or Evil D.
If needed, we can hang the artist for Vortox bait. But we should also try and let the fortune teller get more info. I know either I am, in a role swap with, or have spoken to a fortune teller, with information checking 3 players with a yes on them. You mentioned an evil Ping on Dull. Can you share the information pointing to them?
I don't want to give too much info away that's not mine, but it's either an empath Ping, a savant statement where the other one is now known to be false, or a double claim with Morgan where the Undertaker saw Morgan as the correct role. Today I think pushing on Dull makes sense, because either he's evil or it's Vortox. But I'd be willing to do artist too. Also, we should execute me before final night. I am generally very active and it's easy to pin evil on me at the end. I feel better dead.
Unless Dull is claiming something powerful that gets continuous info like Undertaker, then go ahead. Otherwise totally nominate the artist since they are spent. I can nominate you as a fail-safe.
I'd prefer to stay alive a bit longer, but don't let me get to final night. I don't want to die, but I know how I play and how it can look. And it can be a handicap for good.
Asking to die makes me think you're demon with a Scarlet Woman or a Scarlet Woman with a demon. But okay.
Hello. Up for hard claims? I can go first, otherwise we can go however many you want.
Sure, we can hard claim.
Okay, I'm the snitch. I've gone claiming to people that I'm the savant hoping to bait a kill, but doesn't seem like that happened.
I am the artist. I have said it in public and it is true.
Interesting, I've heard a hard claim somewhere else on artist.
I heard that too.
But you are the real artist. Or lying, or a pixie. Ha ha. But okay, under the assumption you're really the artist, have you used your question? I don't remember what you said in town square.
I said I used, but that could true, or not. Just to confuse the evil team. But I am the artist, that part is true.
Okay, are you willing to tell me whether you truly used or not, or would you prefer to keep that quiet?
I prefer to keep quiet, I'm going to be honest. I don't trust you. I might nominate you. It can't be a Vortox game and we have no nominations so far. I'm a little lost, and you are the only person I saw people suspect.
I'll say at this point, I'd like to live one more night to see if I can bait a savant kill, but if we need an execution, then my plan didn't work, and my execution serves to clear me, and prevent Vortox loss conditions.
Fair. Astadal said something about an evil ping, so maybe we go for that? I will wait a little bit to decide.
Is Ashtadar in a double claim?
No, I made it up to try and get off the block.
It's not 100%, but I have reason to believe we are most likely in a Vortox game. I have gotten an evil ping on a player and that player has given me info that is almost certainly incorrect. Which leads me to believe both pieces of information are false. Does anyone else have an inkling their information, or information they've heard is false?
I have had someone claim info that suggests it is not Vortox.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. If the player with the evil ping is actually evil, their lie was not very believable.
Astada, you aren't anything you claimed to me yesterday, are you?
Correct.
Please don't break madness unless you are on the stand and we are going to execute you.
I completely disagree. I think breaking madness helps narrow world significantly and avoids both of these executions. I also don't think there is a Serenivis.
It depends what the player who is mad actually is, as to if it is worthwhile.
That's true. In my personal world, unless someone breaks madness, I believe 100% now it's a Vortox game. I would love to chat with anyone who has contradictory information tomorrow.
If one were to break madness, there are a shitload of downsides. If a madness were to activate, we know for a fact that one thing is true. No Legion. But that removes the biggest reason I'm voting no right now on most things. If an execution doesn't go through, we catch several Legion.
We would also know that it's not a Vortox. I don't disagree with your reasoning, but you are only looking at the negatives and not the information we could gain. If there is a Sarah and madness is broken, yes, we lose an execution today, but we are so much better informed to make good decisions going forward. I understand what you are saying, and I think in most games what you say is true, but in this particular game, in our particular circumstance, I'm sorry, but I believe you are wrong. This is all for naught anyway because there isn't a Sarah in this game.
I would like to nominate ENZ. My accusation is that it was an easy lift yesterday. Morgan was the one to lift, so it was suspicious of you, and the most important part, there is a Vortox on the script and we don't have any nomination yet.
My defense is that we discussed this in whispers, so yeah, while this isn't ideal, if I must be Vortox bait, and have people be less suspicious of me, then so be it. I would prefer to go after this evil ping that's been floating around town instead, though.
I would like to nominate Dull. My accusation, if we are not in a Vortox world, there is an evil ping on them.
My defense is there is a good chance it is a Vortox game, and I'd rather be alive for that given my current role. I'm genuinely curious about this evil ping.
Murder time! Tonight you sharpen the blade and place Dull's head into the guillotine. You grab the guillotine and drop it. For some reason it stays up there for an agonizing 15 minutes before finally one of you grab the blade and chop up Dull's head. Dull is executed and dies. Go to sleep. The Night 3 question for the evil team, including the lunatic, is who would you most wish would die in the night tonight?
Honestly, killing Alistar makes it look like there is a demon choosing the kills, and might convince people there is more of a possibility of a Vortox.
Maybe Astada, because they are doing a lot of questions, but I'm not sure if they are in the good team or evil team.
I think Groot. They've been more cagey than most, so I reckon they are in fact good. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Evil D almost definitely Legion. Mason obviously Legion. I wonder how long Enz is going to believe they are the demon. Probably not very if they are not Legion. But I think it'd be good to push for their death based on fortune teller info. I think Ims could be good given the lack of whispers on their part. But there's also a certain malaise that comes with being Legion. My personal goal will be to get myself into a poppy grower double claim and execute both halves of it. That's definitely a worthwhile trade. But I also think most poppy growers will assume it's a Legion game if they are in play.
Probably Dolphin, since I think they are the poppy grower. But that is not going to happen. You guys are going to kill a Legion tonight.
I mean, purely vote-wise Groot and Pedro have both wanted to get me on the block, so the less I'm on there the better, but mechanically if Ashtadar is the empath, then he might be getting very suspicious if he gets another 1, or even a 2 tonight. Though he also thinks it might be a Vortox world.
The night 3 question for the good team is, who do you most suspect to be the demon?
Right now, I suspect Dolphin. But I suspect that's not right.
That really depends on what Dull is. Assuming it's a lil monster game, it can bounce around. But right now, I am trusting Morgan. I have vague trust of Enz and Astada. And just based on Night Death I trust Evil D. If I'm wrong about any of them, I could be completely turned around. But I think either Beam or Ims are evil, but I don't think both for some reason. There is probably 1 to 2 evils in the Dull, Dolphin, Drade corner. And Mason and Pedro are wildcards.
Alright, we're going into day 3, going into night 3. Nexus, what are your thoughts on where we're at?
Alright, so Doll has been executed with 7 votes. Unfortunately, to some good players and to Legion, this might seem like Doll is actually good. However, as you can see, Doll is Legion. Another thing that's really concerning that's been going around town is the possible talk of Cerenovus. Unfortunately, a lot of players yesterday locked themselves into a Savant and Artist bluff, and so the talk of a possible Cerenovus adding to one of those is a great thing. However, can the Legion really bring out that Cerenovus and make people believe it's Cerenovus?
Yeah,
Pedro
now
currently
Dull's been bluffing as an Undertaker, and Astadar believes that he is the Undertaker. It would be a bit awkward for Groot to see that Undertaker. He's not poisoned or drunk, so what are you thinking on what do we show Groot?
Alright, so Groot might see Legion, Spy, Marionette, Goblin, Cerenovus, and the final one, Scarlet Woman. I don't think it's logical to show Spy, because Spy wouldn't really show him. I don't think we show Marionette yet. It's sus, but I don't think we show it. I'm not really a fan of showing Goblin, because Goblin would just claim Goblin, right? It's not really working.
Yep.
And with all the talk of a possible Cerenovus, I think the best thing we could do is show Cerenovus.
Yeah, that does make sense. It keeps the dream alive with other demons. Groot feels like he's getting valuable information for town. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Astadar still then gets... Well, I guess we figure out who we kill. Because Astadar's empath will reach. Yeah. He'll
So
if we don't kill... Who would we kill then?
If we kill Dolphin, Istadar would get a 0. If we don't, Istadar still gets a 1. I'm not really a fan of giving a 0 to Istadar, because I want Ents to believe they're good. Not good, I want Ents to believe they're Legion, and some players are good. I think that we give... I'm really hoping that Dolphin can go into a Recluse buff soon, but I think that we would kill someone in the bottom half of the Grim. I prefer not Pedro, because I think Pedro will actually take up the Cerenovus, and I think it's really sus that they killed the Cerenovus target.
Yep.
I prefer not Beam, because Beam had that artist question from earlier and day 1.
Yep.
I prefer not Evil D, because Evil D is already dead.
Yep.
Mason is a fortune teller, and so I think that Mason dying, especially because they've acted so sus, this is kind of really weird. So, and killing between the good players, I think we could kill Dread or Groot today, or Imace. I think the best option is keeping it still neutral, because good might need that help, and I don't think we can kill Groot fully, because we want to help the Legion get some loss with Ceranovus. So I think between Dread and Imace, I think we kill Imace.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, so, alright, so Dull's killed, Imaze gets killed at night, Acidar still gets a 1, just like all game. Groot's gonna see the Ceranovus, which then potentially frees up Pedro from his being Sarah locked. It'll make him have to think on his feet on what he's gonna bluff as now.
Yep. It also can mean if Legion is not really sure about the Ceranovus, they could also always go back and say, I think Cero mad after after Dull, and so they could still convince it's a Vortox.
Alright.
But let's see what Legion does.
Alright, I like it. The town wakes up on day 3 to find that Imzi has died in the night.
Good morning. I am sorry for not breaking madness when some people were asking, but I believe the information that would make a madness break useful was the information that I gave, so it wasn't really useful. If I interpreted that wrong, I am sorry.
I think you made a good call.
Hi there. I'm going to start out with an assumption entirely from social reads. You're empath, and you got a 1, and a 1 on your first 2 nights as your results.
Yeah. Impressive. And a 1 today as well.
Okay. I'm the Undertaker. I saw Morgan as artist and Dull as Ceranovus.
Interesting. I don't believe those are true.
Did Morgan claim something else to you at the start?
Yeah, and I have heard of another Undertaker hard claim.
Well, that person is lying. But there are plenty of reasons to lie in this script.
All the info in this game makes me think it's Vortox, but all these double claims makes me think it's Legion. I'm losing it. Ha ha ha. So, Dull was the other Undertaker claim. And he said he saw Morgan as spy. Which makes no sense. Morgan told me a different role, and confirmed it with me when I said I was testing Undertaker. Although, Dull being Sarah does make sense, with Pedro's claim to not be mad anymore.
Morgan was the one person I trusted at the start. And Pedro's actions were matching being Seer mad. So I'm inclined to believe this is not a Vortox game. I just don't know if I can believe Morgan still.
If Dull is a Ceranovus, then my info checks out, mostly.
I think it was a pretty ingenious way to get the info that a Ceranovus exists without breaking madness. For what it's worth, Morgan's supposed artist question before he got executed was, are at least 2 of Astada, Ends, and Beam evil? And he got a no. At the time, we were both pretty convinced it was Legion with a Savant bluff. Since all 3 of you were claiming Savant out of the gate.
Yeah, I was just trying to cover the empath.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. After thinking about it for a bit, I realized Savant is probably going to be a common bluff. It's not necessarily terribly dangerous to evil, but it's not something that you really want to execute right away either.
At the moment I believe that Ends is the Savant. Getting a 1 again is the empath though. If Dull is legit the Ceranovus, then that implicated Dolphin, and my convo with Dolphin was super suspicious. Like pulling teeth.
I have Ends penciled in as the Savant as well. So, for my money, assuming I can trust my data, we are in a Lil Monster game. But I don't want more rolls, as I want to be able to confirm them.
I won't give any more rolls out, but for the record, I trust Dolphin about as much as I trust a fart.
But that all rests on my shitty confirmation of Morgan. I hard claimed to him day 1. He got executed, and I started our day 2 convo with I saw artist, which he confirmed.
So, he told me he was Oracle. Did Morgan talk to the storyteller day 1?
Once early, I think he was bluffing Savant as many others were, and then when it was fairly obvious he was being executed he visited again. But if he is artist, that eliminates Vortox. His question and seeing a Serenovus should eliminate Legion. And N's savant info that he gave me should eliminate No-E. Twice.
So, if we think it's a lil monster game, it's probably Serenovus, Goblin and Spy? I suppose it could be a marionette. Oh man, I wish I was evil in that game. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it could be. Which could be Dolphin, for that matter. I was half suspecting Ims, honestly, but having them die last night doesn't seem likely. But I could still see Beam as evil. And Dolphin or Drade still could contain both evils. Or we could be a Legion game where you, me, Morgan, and Ens are the good players. That seems an unlikely distribution though.
I mean, if we trust that I am the empath, we could just keep going around the circle starting with Dolphin and see what we find. That would require Pedro to have done some big brain play pretending to be Sarah mad.
Yeah, I'm good with Dolphin today.
I'm so curious what Pedro actually is now. Makes sense why they didn't break Madness though.
I'm a little curious. Though confirming Seer is pretty huge.
I am not putting a ton of faith in it until we kill Dolphin. Groot, if you are evil, you have played me like a fiddle. Ha ha ha. But as of right now you are my #1 trusted player, and I suppose Morgan too by association.
Like I said, this all rests on the House of Sand that is my confirmation of Morgan. I have been claiming Farmer or General to everyone, though, and I would appreciate it if you'd keep up that bluff. Hello. So, I'll be honest. The main reason I was asking for the chat was to see if you were still claiming artist. But I can't really back away from wanting it after you came out with that. Had a hard claim of artist elsewhere, and was assuming Novus, but wasn't entirely certain. So was going to try to push it out of you. Want to 2 for 2?
Yeah, 2 for 2 seems good. You are the first person I will have a chance to do that. Since I was hard claiming.
Okay. I've been giving Farmer or General to most people, but I think I'm actually going to trust you, since my data seems to confirm what you were claiming. I'm the Oracle with a 0 and then a 1, or the Undertaker that saw the artist and then Serenovus.
Wait, you are not the artist then? I was told you were. I will steal your General or Farmer claims, since one of those is my role.
Ouch. Counting me, that's 4 possible Farmer claims around the circle. But I am inclined to believe you. I will say that I am about 90% certain we're in a Lil Monster game.
And we likely killed a Serenovus. That is good.
Yeah. You basically discount Legion, semi-confirmed data discounts Vortox, and a chain of data from that discount No-E. I've also heard of a poppy grower in play.
Makes sense. Well, I think that all then. Hello. I can tell you with 100% certainty that there is a Serenovus in play.
I'm pretty sure I believe that, and so will tell you the truth. I'm the actual artist.
Groot told me he was the Oracle, not the artist like you said. I asked if it was a role swap, he said it could be. I believe one of you guys is the artist and one is the Oracle, but I don't know which is which.
Yes, we agreed to be fluid with it. Are you willing to say anything about your true role?
I can say the same I said to Groot. I am the General or Farmer. And if I'm the General, then good is winning. Do you want to share your hypothetical artist question? Or do you want to keep quiet to be more fluid about the artist and Oracle roles?
Sure, my question was, are there 2 or more evils between Itada, Ens, and Beam? I got to know.
Cool. So, at maximum one of those is evil. In public there are people talking about a possible ping on Ens. I don't know where that ping came from. I did nominate him yesterday, because you said you are suspicious of him. But when you accused the other nomination, I just voted with you. But I think it was a good call if Groot is the Oracle.
Hello. I'm still getting ones. Based on other info, I am pretty sure Doll was actually evil, and now possibly Dolphin as well.
Wait. So you've been getting ones the entire game?
Yeah, which is why I thought it was Vortox. And I believed Doll was Undertaker at the time. And he told me he saw Morgan as spy. Which makes no sense.
I've also heard an Undertaker somewhere that isn't Doll.
I have confirmation of Morgan from an Undertaker that is not Doll. I believe them to be the real Undertaker. Also, if you know the real Undertaker, they have now confirmed seeing a Ceranavis. Anyways, I would love to have all your Savant info if you don't mind.
This is interesting regarding my Day 3 info. Day 1. The first statement is, one player was given a token of the wrong alignment. And the second statement is, there are exactly 2 outsiders in play. Day 2. The first statement is, both living neighbors, at the time Ashtadar and Groot, are the same alignment. And the second statement is, at least one player is drunk or poisoned. Day 3. The first statement is, there's exactly one madness-related character in the game. And the second statement is, exactly one player has been the demon this game.
Okay, so if all my information is to be trusted, this means there is a marionette, and there is no puzzle master. And for Day 3, I believe that means there is a Sarah and a Pixie in play. However, that hinges on my trust of Groot. Which I do at the moment, but who knows?
I've not heard of any outsiders, have you? And is there a reason why you believe Pixie is there too? I figured if it's Lil Monsta, it's pretty likely the second statement Day 3 could be false.
I haven't heard of any outsiders. I guess it could be a lunatic. Okay, so, as far as my info goes, here's how I've puzzled it out so far. Morgan and Doll on Day 1 I got a 1. We killed Morgan. Doll and you on Day 1 and still got a 1, which would either imply both you and Morgan evil or Doll was evil. I have fairly solid confirmation on Morgan, and I trust you at the moment. We killed Doll. Now I got a 1 again, which means either Dolphin evil, whose conversion I had was very, very odd. Or you?
I see. Well, are we thinking Dolphin today then?
I would prefer Dolphin. Yes. Hello. So, do you want to maybe 3 for 3? And possibly share any info? In particularly, I am curious about any reads on Dolphin, if you've spoken to them yet.
Sure. I'm either the Oracle, the Empathy, or the Farmer. If I'm the Oracle, I got a 0 on both nights. If I am the Empathy, I got a 0. Dolphin has also given me General in their free for free with me. I've also heard another role that they gave me from somewhere else.
My conversation with them was extremely odd. They asked me into a conversation, and then didn't want to tell me anything. Ha ha ha! So, if the Undertaker is to be believed, I know you can't be the empath and that at least one evil has died. So, are all your bluffs BS, or are you the farmer? Or, more accurately, are you the poppy grower?
Okay. Yeah. I'm the poppy grower. Pedro is the only other one I told poppy grower to in a free for free.
Also, sorry. Information for you. Artist question and answer. Does 2 plus 2 equal 4? Got a yes. Savant info is, Day 1. One player was given a token of the wrong alignment. There are exactly 2 outsiders in play. Day 2. Both living neighbors, at the time Dolan ends, are the same alignment. At least one player is drunk or poisoned. Day 3. There's exactly one madness related character in the game. Exactly one player has been the demon this game. General, good, neutral, good. So, Dolphin gave me Poppy Grower and they're 3 for 3 too.
I also received Poppy Grower as well. Process of elimination would suggest that they are the first role that they gave me, which wouldn't mind dying. The chef?
See, they aren't the chef. Because they are an evil little liar, looking at a red token. I'm pretty sure it's a little monster game.
If Undertaker has seen an evil this early in the game, then that would suggest that evil is having a hard time coordinating.
Or a Legion game that is being played extremely well. But if you are the poppy grower, that would be next to impossible.
If it's no Dashi Eye, Dolphin is at worst a minion.
Up until now I thought it was Dolphin and Beam, because Beam's nomination looks like a liftoff of Dolphin. But with Poppy Grower, that doesn't make sense. Either way, I think we get rid of Dolphin. Including today, we only have 3 days left if we EXE every day. The fact that you told Pedro and Poppy Grower in 3 for 3 and haven't died yet leads me to believe Pedro is for sure good. If I was evil, I'd put that on blast in town even if it got me killed.
Yeah, I told Pedro about Poppy Grower today and they haven't said anything about that in public, so I trust them. I also think Ans is probably good as well.
Same. I also trust Groot at the moment, but the least of the 3.
If you think that Groot is good, and their information is legit. Assuming if they get information, that also rules out Beam as a no Dashi Eye candidate. Of course, there's also Lil Monster to consider.
I'm pretty confident it's Lil Monster. From all the pieces I've gathered.
If it's Lil Monster, then I don't think they would put a marionette in, because if that's the case then either Dolphin or Ans would be the most likely candidates. And if there is no marionette, then there is a lunatic. Unless you heard of any outsiders.
I have not.
And if Dao and Ans are both good, then that rules out both No Dashi Eye and Puzzle Master. So it might be a Serenovus and Scarlet Woman and either Goblin or Spy.
If the Undertaker is to be believed, Dal was Serenovus. Which checks out with Pedro's madness timing.
If both Dao and Ans are the same alignment, then that rules out No Dashi Eye and Puzzle Master. There is also an Undertaker who has seen Dao as Serenovus. And if there's a lunatic in play, then that also means we have a Sentinel modifying outsider count. I haven't heard of any potential snitch or recluse claim, so I'm inclined to believe that we have one less outsider. Dolphin is mostly included based on their socials, but they could be a potential lunatic candidate.
Okay. You are getting there because of some bad info I gave you. You are reading mostly good to me. I wanted to get one more night of info, then I was going to go public anyway. Oh boy. Phew. I'm taking a risk here. You see, I am the empath. That's how I knew you were not. I've gotten solid ones every day. So unless one of them is a spy, they can't both be bad.
So that's an evil in each pair up. Dao and Morgan, then Dao and Ans, then Dolphin and Ans. Right.
Correct. Also, that is a legit Savant info. I just changed the names to hide the Savant. The artist info is made up, but I'm pretty sure it's not Vortox.
So unless there's a hidden pixie somewhere, it has to be a Lil Monster game.
I think so too. I honestly think Ends is good because the Undertaker confirmed Morgan is good and my number didn't change. But I don't know. I could be missing something. I could also be drunk, I guess, from a Puzzle Master? But I don't think that fits with the info we have. The Day 2 Savant info, the first statement is the correct one as far as I can tell.
So that means that there isn't a Puzzle Master in play. But regardless, Dolphin is the best person that we should execute at this time.
I think so too. And then we can go from there. Okay. I've got nothing else to share at the moment. You are for sure the Poppy Grower, right?
Yes. I am indeed the Poppy Grower.
Hey. How's your game going?
It is going okay, I think. Just glad I am not Serenovus mad anymore. And you?
I'm also glad you're not Serenovus mad. That would be a really awkward thing to happen to a legion.
Ha ha ha. I see what you are doing here. But I was mad. It's not Legion.
I don't believe you. But sure, give me whatever you're bluffing as.
I am a general or a farmer.
Interesting. I'm not asking for a hard claim. Just 2 roles, because I think you are lying to me. And I'm just not sure why. And I also know there's no Serenivus in play.
That's a lie. I was made mad.
Well, I can't be the lunatic, so it seems like we've got ourselves a problem.
I know that there is a Serenovus in play.
You are mad. But not because of the Serenivus.
I appreciate what you are trying to do. But I was made mad by the Serenovus.
And I appreciate your story. But I'm literally trying to convince an evil player they are evil.
First of all, I am good. Second of all, if you claim Poppy Grower, I don't think you're going to be able to trick any evils.
I don't need to claim Poppy Grower to trick evils. I claim Poppy Grower to get into a double claim. I've already got 4 Legion marked in place. I'm just trying to figure out who's good so I can vote with them. And I suspect Groot is good.
I am starting to think you really believe that. So, I have news for you. You are the lunatic. Because it's not a Legion game.
I'm not going to convince you. Am I?
If someone outed Legion to you, they are on the evil team. Okay. Fine. You have convinced me that you believe this. So, you basically have convinced me.
Cool, thanks. Also, there is a fortune teller yes on ends. They were checked 2 nights.
Cool, then maybe I will nominate him again.
Thanks for suffering through evil baits.
Ha ha ha.
I will say, I have heard of an oracle one last night.
I have info that will confirm that.
Beam claimed Goblin to me. It was funny.
I'll be honest, I've been suspicious of Beam since she was CB.
I've been suspicious of you since I hard claimed yesterday, and you clammed up like a clam. Not a single bit of info, not a single olive twig of trust.
Yeah, because I don't believe your claim as far as I could throw it.
You have no reason to do so unless you're trying to meta me for a play someone else started, which I wouldn't recommend.
To trust you? Correct.
That was a spicy retort. I approve. Ha ha ha.
Goblin confirmed?
Only one way to find out, but I wouldn't recommend it. I do think I'll out at this point though. I've done my job. Town. I am your poppy grower. If you want to know where your friends are, come at me.
I nominate Dolphin. My accusation. I no longer believe that this is a Vortox game. The information I had that led me to Vortox were lies. But things have been cleared up now. Yesterday, I thought Dolphin was good, but a safer kill. Today I believe Dolphin is evil. I'm not sure if any of you have chatted with Dolphin yet, but the conversation I had with them was very difficult. They invited me to a chat and then sharing any info was very difficult. It was almost a wasted whisper. I have one possible piece of mechanical information pointing to Dolphin which I didn't believe yesterday, but no must be true today. Also this might just be my own bias but I think a quiet townsfolk is a liability.
No defense.
I will nominate Groot. My accusation. I haven't heard anything for or against them. And they are not the worst kill. But if evil, feels like they could be our Serenivus.
My defense. I think a Seerlocked Pedro no longer being mad should say I'm probably not the Serenovus. But in a more general sense, I am not a good kill, and I think there are others that would back this up.
Hauled by the union of blood red. The blood of your comrade seems to grow into a large pool of red, darker than you can see. The union has gone too far. Dolphin is executed and dies. The game is not over. Go to sleep. We are wrapping up day 3, going into night 4. Groot and Dolphin were up for nominations, but Town decided to kill Dolphin. What are your thoughts on today?
I'm not really sure. I think this game is really going to come down to some important decisions. We have the Empath, we have the Undertaker, we have the Poppy Grower. I think we have to kill a good player here. I think not really the Lunatic. Ents is starting to feel like they are the Lunatic, so we have to make sure that Ents has some doubt before the end of the game, hopefully so that the evil players can use Ents as good vote in favor of Legion. I'm personally between Groot or Dread. I think killing Isladar is okay, but I still think that killing Groot or Dread is great for Legion.
Yeah, the truth is that the remaining Legion pretty much know each other. They may not know all the dead Legion, but I think they know each other anyway. And so Dread's done their job in getting us to this point in the game with keeping Legion kind of on their heels. And I think the good team is kind of comfortable and trusting each other as well. So it probably does make sense to remove Dread at this point in the game.
I would have to agree. It also gives the Path 1. I think that Legion should finally get their deserved reward.
Yeah, how insane will Astadar go when he gets another Empath 1 going around the entire circle?
Oh no. Oh no. I'm sorry, Istadar. I'm sorry. If you're watching this back, I'm sorry. It's just the way it has to be. I think Istadar is going to explode. Honestly.
I mean, what do you think? You're like, okay, we killed the Serenovus. We have to figure out what Dolphin is. And now there's the third evil. Like, really? Is it maybe Ends all along? Was he fooling me? Like, you start to question yourself. Am I just Puzzle Master drunk?
Yeah, it's their guided ones on Ends continuously, and the Dulcer knows all of that is so great. But Istadar really needs to question their info.
Yeah.
I think, and also Groot is starting to go mentally insane as well. Speaking of which, what should we show Groot?
Well, I mean, I don't think we show him Legion, right? So we got to look at our possible minions, and you're just like last time. Spy and Goblin don't make sense. So I guess between Marionette and Scarlet Woman, what would make you lean one way or the other?
I think Marionette next to a little monster will actually just throw worlds across the room. I think that many people think that could possibly be Legion, including Legion, and so Legion is spreading the Legion. But we also need to make sure that there's viable No Dashi worlds, there's viable little monster worlds, and there's almost always viable Vortex worlds. Right now, Groot is getting 2 minions and 1 good player, so Morgan might be sussed out as an early minion executed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so we killed Dread, and then between Scarlet Woman and Marionette to show Groot, do you think it matters which one we show, or?
I think Marionette, because that throws into the little monster world, and if you're not really aware of the jinx between Little Monster and Marionette, one of the minions neighbor the Marionette, not the demon, because you can't really know the demon before the game. So yeah, I think throwing that in is cool.
Okay, yeah, that is cool. You got to be paying attention to all your jinxes then.
Yep. Also, today, Ents wasn't nominated.
Is that a first? It might be the first day, right?
Yeah, it might be the first day, but I don't expect it to last long. There's also a really viable Modashi world between, and uh, long reaching to Aistadar and short reaching to Group.
All right. Well, the Legion will rejoice tonight when they finally learn each other, and Good's gonna have their hands full trying to keep pick off the bottom half of the map here now.
Oh, and one more thing, we have to decide what we show ends. Because they are legions, and the Poppy Girl is gonna die today. So we can convince ends that they're either still poppy grown, which is still sort of okay. Yeah, if you're not aware, Beam has publicly claimed poppy grower. In addition, we could also show all of Legion and have ends puzzle that out. Or we could show some Legion and some good players having ends be a true lunatic.
Okay. What do you think makes the most sense here?
I think not showing anything makes the most sense. Because once Ends finds out there's a lunatic, they're going to trust Beam a lot. And they're going to think Aistadar is lying. Because they would have gotten their info, right?
Right.
I think because Beam is probably going to be the Legion in Final 3. I think Beam is, in terms of mechanics, in a good spot, in terms of trust, in a bad spot. So we have to build on that trust. And I think this is a quick, easy way to build on that trust.
Okay. So Ends gets nothing. He doesn't learn any other Legion, but the actual Legion will, and we'll see if that whose favor that works in, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
And they're going 6 players alive. Good luck.
All right. It'll be an exciting day, I'm sure. You awake to the eerie and unpleasant sound of a loud siren. Another is dead. It seems like the bloodbath is still going on. Dread has died in the night. 6 players are alive. There should only be 2 more executions. Use them wisely.
Pedro is Legion, just as I thought. Oh, and Beam didn't lie, also nice.
As I kind of thought. Pedro, Dull, and Beam I knew of. Storytellers. If there was a lunatic in game, is it possible for you to tell them they have a lunatic? So, I don't mean to be offensive, but yeah, if I'm a lunatic Legion, then I'm going to cry.
Damn, we killed a non-Legion day 1. That's nice. So yesterday I was hoping to play Goblin. Today I think I'm going to pivot to being a trustworthy world builder, because Aistadar is too good at this game. And we can't leave them go unchecked.
Wait, the poppy grower died in the night? Ha 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 ha. I was suspecting the good team to be Groot, Morgan, Beam and Ienzid. I got Beam and Idastar mixed up, and didn't expect a 5th good player. Beam really confused me yesterday claiming poppy grower.
I might be the lunatic. I'm not going to vote today and see what happens. These lunatic thoughts are filling my mind. Ha ha ha. I literally have no idea who is Legion. And now I need a 4th day of savant information. Please kill me in the night. Ha ha ha.
Another Empath 1? Damn it, Nexus. It is a freaking Vortox game, isn't it? I kinda wish the demon killed me. With how vocal I play, it will be so easy to frame me at Final 3. At this point I'm going to put everything I know out there, so hopefully someone smarter than me can help me figure this out. But personally, I'm pretty sure it's a Legion game now. I didn't realize Legion could be seen as another minion to the Undertaker at first. Or, I'm pretty sure it's no Dashi now. Arg.
I learned Dolphin was a marionette. Really? Really? Okay, now I'm starting to disbelieve. Though upon further reflection, after I've calmed down from that immediate reaction, my first thought was, well, that means Drade is the demon. And that means Nexus put the marionette in the easy empath line when he could have put it on Pedro. Then I remembered the whole Lil Monster idea I've been running with. Oh my god. I am fucking spiraling here now. Nexus, I know you can't answer this, but I have to direct to you anyway. Would you really just hand the game solved to a Stader by killing Drade for Lil Monster? I mean, if you did, it absolutely sent me into this tailspin, so well done. Back to Legion. If it's Legion, then there are 3 goods alive, whether the third is a Stader or Beam. We kill a Legion today, that brings it to 3 good, 2 Legion. At that point, I think you have to kill a good at night to make it 2 and 2. We sleep, and we probably end up in an A-Stader Beam myself final 3 and I'll hate every minute of it. Can we afford to kill ends in any world? If we're Legion, that brings us down to 2 goods 3 Legion. You probably kill a Legion at that point, and we repeat that scenario. Grey Mason, I hope you're enjoying this.
Good morning, town. At this point I'm going to put everything I know out there, so hopefully someone smarter than me can help me figure this out. I've lied in most of my soft claims. I am the empath. I've gotten a 1 in every night, which could mean a lot of things. I thought I had good info pointing to it not being a Vortox game, but I'm not sure anymore. If it's not, either it's Legion or really unlucky minion placement in a Lil Monster game. Or, if there is a puzzle master, I think I am the drunk one. But that would assume the alive Undertaker lied to me. Assuming my information is sober and correct, this has been my reasoning for the pushes I've made. Day 1. Captain and Doll. I got an empath 1. Doll claimed more powerful roles, so I pushed on Captain just in case. Day 2. Doll and Ends. 1. Doll claimed Undertaker and said Morgan was a spy, which makes no sense except in a Vortox game. At the time I was pretty sure it wasn't a Vortox game, but I can't remember why. So we killed Doll. Once Doll died, Pedro was released from Sarah Madness. And the real Undertaker confirmed Doll as the Serenovis. If my information is true, and the Undertaker's information is true, then Ends cannot be evil. Day 3. Dolphin and Ends. With the information above I was pretty sure Ends was confirmed good and this pushed on Dolphin. Today, Pedro and Ends, yet again, I have gotten a 1. And to be honest, I don't really trust my info anymore. I trust both Pedro and Ends, so I just don't know. The only situation right now, I think my info makes sense, is if it's a Legion game, and the Undertaker was shown a minion instead of Legion.
I would also very much like to know whether or not there is a puzzle master. The world I've been running with makes no sense with the death of Drade. I also wouldn't mind seeing some sort of claim from the night kills. Drade, Evil D, Ims. Would you mind sharing your roles?
I heard of a puzzle master in a soft claim.
Bim makes as much sense as a poppy grower publicly claiming.
I barely spoke to people the first few days. I think I've served my purpose, and Evil have probably figured something out.
I'll admit I am currently very confused. My world still makes sense from a data standpoint, but not from a gameplay and balance standpoint. But a puzzle master could throw everything out the window. Mason, I'm also going to try one more time with you. Are you sticking by your claims to me?
Yeah. I'd be interested in what outsiders we have at this point.
I'm thinking about pulling an A-Stader and outing all my info right now too. I think it might help solve.
We're at 6. Is there going to be much harm waiting until we've decided to sleep or execute?
The info I have heard, my own and others, says it's almost guaranteed Lil Monster. The only other option is Legion with good players clumped up. But, a puzzle master possible hit on me throws that whole world onto a sandy foundation. Hello. Well, the answer I got last night was Marionette. Which, combined with a Drade death and your continued Empath 1 readings, really throws my world into a tailspin. Please do share with Morgan.
Yeah, I'll let them know. I honestly think it's Legion. If it's Legion, you would be shown a minion.
I can see a couple worlds. Ends as the no Dashi and Morgan minion of some sort. This would put poison on both of us. If it's a Legion world and I'm not puzzle drunk, Morgan must be good. I can see Legion as any minion or Legion, but I can't see them as good. Alternatively, we are in Legion. In which case, your info makes sense, but means you, Morgan, Enz, and myself must be good. Which basically would mean everyone else is Legion. Although, Lil Monster is still technically possible, but it would mean that Nexus chose to kill Drade in order to show you Pedro.
We could try to do a round robin vote thing where only the nominator votes. But it would waste a day of executions. They wouldn't go for it. Dredd claimed Poppy Grower to me, and to be honest, I don't buy it at all.
No, that's definitely not true.
If it's Legion and only one person votes, the evil votes would count as 0. So, if Beam nominated you, and then was the only one to vote yes, if the vote ends in 0 votes then we know it is Legion. But I confirmed this with Nexus. He is running it as the only way we would learn a vote fails is at execution. So, I want to talk to Beam and Pedro and see what they have to say, but I expect it to all be lies. They'll go in with an open mind, but I think killing Pedro still makes sense today.
So there's also the possibility that Drade or Dull were the recluse. But I don't see it with Dull especially, but it's possible with Drade. Especially if he was claiming Poppy Grower. That's someone who wants to get Knight killed. Hell, it's possible Enz or Beam are Demon and Recluse and I'm Marionette for that matter. Do you have Enz's supposed Day 3 info?
Yeah, his Day 3 info is. There's exactly one Madness related character in the game. Exactly one player has been the Demon this game.
Oh, Pixie. But I have not heard of one. If someone is the Pixie, it would be a hell of a time to break Madness.
I think the Lunatic is our outsider. I think the other 3 would have said something by now.
What do you think the odds are of Enz as no -E? Morgan Minion. Dull as the Serenovus. You're poisoned so you get a 1 instead of a 2, then stick with 1 because it clears Enz. I would get correct info on Dull to confirm myself.
I don't hate it. Do you know who the fortune teller is? There was an evil ping on Enz.
Mason was the person who claimed fortune teller to me in a soft claim, but I've also heard it as coming from Ims. Once of the reasons I've been pinging Mason every day to try to see if he was sticking to his claim.
I would be very interested to hear the rest of the pings as well. If we kill Enz and he is good, what is the consequence of that? Can we afford it?
The 6 we have drops to 4. We'd have to sleep on 4 without an execution, bringing us to final 3.
Okay. I mean I'm happy to try for Enz. Especially depending on how my other 2 chats go.
So here's my thinking. In my world, Enz and Morgan 100% are the same team. Enz confirmed Morgan's hard-claimed artist of day 1. Which is before I saw them. So, either I'm poisoned, and Enz is backing up Morgan's bluff, or I saw Morgan correctly. And it would have to be poison, because Legion would still show as evil. However, it could also be a Beam as no -E, with you puzzle drunk if they are both good. But that also means that Nexus chose the Drade kill. If Lil Monster, because I think that's the only way that works. But yeah, if Legion. I think I have to trust Morgan, Enz, and myself. You, from a data standpoint, are up in the air.
That's totally fair.
I think I believe you, but the only confirmation I have is lining up data which you would know as Legion. Morgan's question says that at least one of you or Beam are good, but I don't think a Legion game would have you both good. Oh, this game. Once again, I had a solid solve yesterday, and today I know nothing.
Right. My head is spinning. I've decided I'm either going to win with you, or lose at your hand. Ha ha ha.
Oh, Mason. You are back. Are you sticking with the roles you gave me when we chatted?
Yes, I am. I think it might be Vortok's game, to be honest.
The info I have all but rules out Vortox. There is only one specific trio where it could be with Vortox, and social reads makes me doubt it. And actually, the info you gave me would be legit with that trio, so.
I might be Puzzle Master drunk then, I don't know on our demon, I guess no Legion or Vortox then from what people are saying. We have 6 alive. The only world where we haven't seen an evil, and it matters, should be Vortox or no -E.
Yeah, freaking Clocktower. Yesterday I was 95% convinced I had a near soul for Lil Monster. Today I'm going crazy.
True. To be honest, right now I'd believe any world but Legion. Unless someone can tell me the 3 or 4 good players.
Again, I have a Legion world, but it requires a specific group of goods. Which you aren't part of, so your thought there doesn't help.
I'm most convinced of a Legion or Lil Monster at the moment.
A few players came out as Legion to me, but I believe they are good. One was executed and one is alive.
Lil Monster means Nexus made a weird kill last night, but that is the only evidence against it. No -E is more open. I'd really like to know who our outsiders are. At least what the roles are.
Both of my neighbors seem to be dead and don't want to talk to me.
I've heard Ims was basically claiming exactly what you did, but I've not talked to either. An evil D being quiet isn't exactly out of character.
True. Ha ha ha. Also, I'm curious to see if Ashtadar is still okay with us executing him today. Although it may have been a slip, I wholeheartedly don't trust them.
I don't trust you either. Ha ha ha. But yes, I am okay being executed. I wish it had been yesterday, or a demon death though. For town's sake, to be clear what Mason is taking about is, in our chat I said I should be executed before the penultimate night due to my playstyle. I'm very vocal and it's easy to frame evil on me because of it. But it is now the penultimate night, so. Ha ha ha.
Groot, who is your most likely evil currently?
Assuming I'm not drunk or poisoned, Pedro. If I am, though, all bets are off.
I'm struggling to find worlds where Groot is evil, except for the no -E world. Which I personally think is least likely.
I don't think we have any clear demon, which kinda sucks right now.
I think it's Legion or Lil Monster.
Why so?
My info points to a Legion game. Combined with some other info I got that I don't want to fully out. Empath 1's all game is weird. And if the Savant is to be believed, I shouldn't be drunk. But who knows? On the opposite end I think it's fairly likely that Seranovis has been confirmed and would eliminate a Legion game.
Well, there is Puzzle Master. Who were your neighbors for you empath days? Plus, it could just be a Vortox and we fell for a lie of someone.
It's all in my post above. I spilled everything in my opinion. The only possible Vortox world is also with the spy.
Someone could also be recluse and just hasn't told you. Your info doesn't rule anything out yet.
If someone is a recluse, and hasn't told anyone still, then I simply don't believe them.
As recluse you might be trying to die at night, so I believe it. You are a massive hindrance to town, so if the demon kills you that is probs the best. If this was trouble brewing and I was the recluse I'd be claiming Undertaker, trying to take a hit.
For sure. Other people play different ways, but personally when I'm recluse I tell at least one person hard claim. The fact we have hardly heard of any possibility of an outsider that makes me think it's a lunatic.
Yeah, I feel everyone wants to stay silent, unless you're used Poppy Grower or Snitch. Because lunatic wouldn't find out.
Snitch would come out quick for sure. So likely not Snitch. Puzzle Master probably would have came out by now. But not 100%. I might just be dumb, but I feel like a recluse would have said something to someone by now too. My empath 1's all game are really freaking me out.
Captain Morgan, did you lie to CB on day 1 before I took over?
Yes.
Then Groot, I'm leaning more towards Vortox after all. Actually, I think I prefer an ends as the no -E. With Captain Morgan as the minion.
I don't hate that, but I find the one I got day 1 very odd then.
Well, Poppy Grower and potentially a marionette. I don't really like marionette with Poppy Grower. I actually really like Captain Morgan as the spy and Ends as the no-dashie. The one wasn't intended to ping off Captain Morgan in that case from a meta perspective.
Could be. But I'm still getting ones. With Ends there for several days, and apparently a fortune teller ping on them too. Oh, I guess the fortune teller ping doesn't matter for no dashie probably. My info just doesn't seem likely with that is all. I don't hate it, could be a possibility, but seems odd.
I was taking into account the fortune teller information I know, but I also don't know how much to trust it. But empath, fortune teller, undertaker. It seems like a lot of info for a non-Vortox game, so I could also see a Vortox world. Let's chat privately. Hello. I realized I'm probably putting too much faith in you being good. But I'll work with it for now.
No. I need to modify the way I play. Ha ha ha. I talk too much and make myself look bad.
No, it's not that. I like that you're vocal. It's more, I have one reason to trust a surviving empath on a spy script and that's it. Anyways, Captain said he lied to me. And Groot said he has seen him as the artist. Which was what Captain gave CB day 1. I don't see why Captain would lie about that publicly, so I have zoomed up to Captain being evil. Everything else is just based on that.
Oh weird. Captain originally gave me Snitch and Oracle, but changed it to Artist as soon as he saw me talking to Groot.
But Ends works with that, and the fortune teller yes. And the empath.
I trusted Ends so much, but there is so much info pointing toward them it's probably not good to keep ignoring.
The fact Captain hasn't outed his info as artist I find very weird. Ends might be good, but then it's Vortox with evil Captain I think.
His question was, between Yumi and Ends, is there at least 2 evils? Which seems like a bad question to me.
But that means you got a truthful empath 2 on night 1.
Oh. I have gotten ones every night.
Yes, but if Vortox it can't be a 1. So if Captain is evil, then that would also make Dull evil.
I'm pretty sure Dull was evil, but I'm not super convinced about Captain. Dull said they were Undertaker and saw Morgan as spy, which only really makes sense in Vortox.
I don't get why good Captain lies to me about what he had said this morning when we're getting to the point of needing a solve. It's not helpful.
What role are you anyways?
I am your Poppy Grower. I outed yesterday.
Ooh, I missed it. Dread is claiming to be the Poppy Grower as well.
Interesting. Since when?
Yesterday.
I went hard yesterday trying to convince Pedro to out evil to me, and he just didn't budge, so I'm inclined to trust him.
Pedro's madness being broke when Dull died, and then Dull being seen as Serenovis is interesting to me. It makes me think the Undertaker wasn't drunk. Or, knows more than they should. I believe it was before that. Also, I thought that was a joke about you and Pedro.
It was meant to be a little lackluster, but it's also truthful.
So if you're Poppy Grower spy doesn't really matter. I think it's Legion still personally. But in my Legion world you're evil.
Is Groot Legion in that world? I guess he'd have to be unless there's a puzzle drunk, but I haven't heard of it. Although I'm missing a lot of people.
I think our outsider is lunatic because I haven't heard even a hint of one.
So in that world, Captain gotta know, Groot and me are evil. That works, but it's fragile. It would work with the fortune teller info though Legion and Vortox look similar.
If Captain gotta know, there is 1 or less evil between us 3.
That changes things a little bit. And worlds where I'm evil Legion, I don't see Dread the Poppy Grower dying at night. From my perspective, if Captain gotta know, then I have to think Ends is evil. Or you. Was it really a no?
Yeah. I'm not smart enough for this damn game. Ha ha ha. But I think for Ens to be evil captain, has to be evil as well.
You definitely are, but it's also made to be misleading. Particularly this script. Captain doesn't have to be evil if he's drunk. Or poisoned.
I guess he only has to be evil or outsider if Ens is the no dashi.
Not if you're evil. Then he's poisoned and you're evil. But that's not exactly helpful for this conversation. Have you spoken to Ens this game? I have not been whisper tracking.
That's fair, I suppose. Yes. Twice, I believe. Do you know his claim?
No?
No harm in saying I suppose. It's possible to figure out in chat. He's claiming Savant. I spoke to him day 1 and then day 3 to get updated info.
That's just way too many alive information roles to be true.
Absolutely, someone is lying, of course. I don't know Pedro's claim after Madness broke. I'm supposed to talk to them next.
I got a 2 roles from Pedro. I didn't particularly like it, because it was identical to the 2 Groot gave me. But Groot backed out of both. So I think that was a bit of a role swap.
Weird. I'll see what I can glean from them.
For what it's worth, you read socially good, but there's definitely evil potential there. If we only have 2 kills, I think Ens is good.
I was pretty sure you were evil going into this, but now I don't know. Ha ha ha. I don't love the Ens kill, but I'm happy to go with it. Ens doesn't work with my info, but I don't really trust my info anymore.
As far as me as demon theories go, I'll say that I've known Ashtadar has been empath getting ones since day 1. Killing him right after he told me definitely would have been suspicious, but considering that his info has implicated me and my supposed minion Morgan every day, it's weird that I wouldn't have killed him night 3 or 4, especially once he outed and I could kill him after Dolphin died. Speaking of powerful roles not dying, it's weird to me that it's the second to last day and there are still 3 info roles alive, especially when one is straight outed and another seems pretty visible. Unless these people are evil, I think it's likely it's Lil Monster or Legion with random kills, unless dead people want to challenge by saying they might have been targeted. Also, is this fortune teller I've been hearings about alive or dead? Because if alive, then make it 4 info roles still alive. And outed Poppy Grower alive too. Although something like that might just be a bait play. I think it would be smarter to not execute today, then be left at final 5 and then final 3. The info from the currently alive info roles may help in figuring out which is real, and which may be bluffing. Maybe, and I've heard tell that there's a dead minion, so less likely 3 evils alive, but would be curious to hear the thoughts of others.
Ims, would you be up for claiming publicly? I've still got about half a grim without claims. I'd be okay with a whisper, but I don't really have enough before game end state.
I've only got like 2 slots filled, don't worry about it.
Captain told CB he was artist in an exchange. If he lied to him day 1, then that doesn't add up with what you're saying. So, I think you could be poisoned. And Captain could still have been a spy.
As spy, I don't fight hard to stay alive. The only person I told the truth to day 1 was Ens.
Also, Morgan's vote was what put me on the block, which isn't impossible for a minion to do to their demon, but I feel like it'd make more sense for him to just not put the hand up given the lack of need to.
I dislike this public backtrack, after I explained, but accept it can happen. While I'm less sure of Spy, I'd argue that Spy might want to survive until after the poppy grower is gone, hence some pushback. A final thing from me is we have way too many info roles living. So that's making me lean away from no dashi, unless some info roles are poisoned and being used for misinformation.
I also agree, too many important roles alive, something's weird about it. Let's talk in private. Hello. I'm the savant. Are you the poppy grower, the farmer, or evil? Ha ha ha. If it's not Legion or Monster, I don't know how you stayed alive as Poppy Grower so long, unless the demon has reason to think you're the farmer or evil. Though maybe I missed something.
I'm the Poppy Grower, or evil it seems. I think I've stayed alive by not talking to many people, and beyond that I both claimed evil and hard claimed Poppy Grower, so it works both ways as a defense. Right now I'm looking at no Dashi or Vortox. But both of them require you to be the demon.
Sorry, I've been quiet, not sure what to make of me dying immediately after Morgan now. I was the pixie who saw artist. So, I would have gotten my question but died. Although, I hadn't actually claimed to anyone at that point, so maybe I wouldn't have gotten it.
This to me is another point in the direction of not a Vortox game.
In a Vortox world, Pixie would learn a role that wasn't in play, right? I mean, Occam here says to execute Pedro. But that Drade death just doesn't sit well. Hey Drade, are you willing to publicly claim now?
Why though? They're stopping being mad lines up.
In a Poppy Grower game, Serenovas could easily have mad-locked their demon. Or fellow minion in the case of Lil Monster.
Unlikely to be an Odashi with Evil D getting true info.
We're getting close to endgame, so I think it's best to claim now. I am the Poppy Grower.
Well, that's a blatant double claim then.
I'm aware of that.
Evil D was Pixie, artist. This is super useful info I wish I knew way earlier. Ha ha ha. Oh, that throws a huge wrench in my whole world view. If you truly are Pixie, and there truly is a Serenovus in play, that means either it's a no Dashi game or the Savant info is garbage.
Dolphin, what are you claiming?
I'm the chef. I said that to Pedro. My info was 0.
Hello. So you are aware, I saw Dull as the Serenovus, and Dolphin as the marionette.
Yes, that is what Mason said. The reason I wanted to talk is that I am now worried again that it is a Legion game. With the 3 of the 4 goods as you, me, Beam and 1 of Enz and Itardar.
Yeah, I was just slipping into more thinking that too. Although, I had it as you, me and Enz and 1 of A Stader or Beam. But double claim of Poppy makes me doubt Beam.
The reason I think Beam is good is the Poppy Grower double claim. I think Dredd came out with that to try and get them killed.
Yeah, I could see that. A Stader was saying that he was claiming Poppy Grower earlier than Beam went public though. At least I think that was the timing he insinuated. Why would you have A Stader as the definite good and Enz as the questionable? Am I missing something? And I went all in on Lil Monster, so now I have to go look at voting history again.
Actually, I'm not set on Itardar either way. With a quick look at the votes, it may be that Enz is the good one. But why was it lifted off from day one? So, in a Legion game, I would like to go into a final night with those 3 and you, which would probably mean 3 good. Also, it seems Dull is stinking with claiming Undertaker in public.
Of course Dull is. I really regret how we managed that Undertaker confirm in retrospect. I blame this being my first time and not thinking about it first. Should have done a narrowing down so I could be sure of you too. Claiming to be mad-locked is a good way to back out of a double claim for Pedro. Though his timing on breaking out of it with my seeing a Serenovus was impeccable.
Yes, that is my main problem with Legion.
And Lil Monster is still technically viable, but why the Drade kill if it is. Giving A Stader a read on the last evil.
Yeah. Yes, I think the night deaths seem very odd for Lil Monster. And I don't think it is Vortox because of you and the Pixie. So, either no Dashi or Legion.
Yeah. The only Vortox world I could come up with was the exact team of you, Enz, and A Stader. And that just doesn't feel right to me. Pixie doesn't contradict that world for me though.
Yes, that's fair. In an Odashi world, I can't see a world where Itardar gets good info though.
With no Dashi, the only way A Stader and my info both come out the way it does is if one of us is evil, him from my POV, or there is an unclaimed puzzle master as well. Oh, you're a minion with ends as the no-dash-e. But I can't see continual ones for Astada if he's poisoned next to a demon. I think there are viable worlds there, but they all have questions.
They do. The only outsider I can see possibly being in play is a lunatic who thinks it is a poppy grower game, which would be needed in a no-dash-e game. And if Itardar is the no-dash-e, I am not sure how you get Marionette. If it is Legion, Ens must be Legion with this information. But then Itardar has wrong info, and so do I.
It means either Astada or I have wrong info. Astada could be pinging on Ens. And hell, I wouldn't put it past Nexus to make Legion with a Marionette. I could easily be Marionette in that case.
Yes, then you have wrong info. So, either Bean is the no-dash-e, but then Day 2 is problematic.
You're right. Okay. I think I'm more on the Ens is Legion train. Fuck. He helped me confirm you, damn it. Since you claimed artist to him before I saw artist. I had you two down as definitely the same alignment.
Ens cannot be good in a Legion game unless they are the lunatic.
Right. Legion game, there's no way he's savant. Non-Legion game it's still possible. But that feels less likely the more I think about it. Astada is getting there publicly as well. The problem then, is that if Ens is Legion, then Astada data is also incorrect. So, I think it's more likely he's the lunatic.
That's a good read. Ens's lunatic is the only place I can see it for the no-dash-e. Savant is a bold bluff for a demon without knowing minions. So it just brings me back around to Legion again.
Chef Zero from the Marionette. Which, honestly, could be semi-legit still. Leaves only Ims, and the continuing info from Pedro and or Mason to close out this circle for me. Pedro claimed general or farmer to me. And here's my other issue. If Serenovus and Marionette are real in a non-Legion game, then it must be a Lil Monster game. Since Drade died as non-demon, the only way Dolphin ends up beside a minion is in Lil Monster. Which also means Nexus would have put the Marionette next to the minion that was getting pinged by the empath. It seems unlikely, although I suppose not impossible, to me. But then he would have also killed the buffer between the second and third minion. So, either Nexus really wants this game to end, or it's not a Lil Monster game, and he's just really trying to make it look like one. But if it's not Lil Monster and I trust my info, then it must be Legion.
Oh. And I could also see a possible beam of Autox, me Marionette, minion somewhere else in the circle, Mason. Because I'm technically minion, I could be shown legit info. Beam and Ens have both fervently denied that I'm the Marionette though. He says, making worlds where he is evil. It's just Legion, isn't it?
I think it has to be. I think we execute Pedro, which would either end the game in Lil Monster, or kill an evil in Legion. And I have no way of figuring out which of those three is evil, if any. Would Nexus make a 5 out of 12 good? Probably if Ens is lunatic he would.
Yes, I think Ens has to be lunatic, otherwise Itardar info does not work. As they got a read on Dull and Ens and got a 1. And they both can't be evil with my question.
Hello. We both lied in our soft claims. But I was mad. Should I hard claim? Your information is weird if you are not puzzle drunk.
That is up to you. I thought that's what we were doing here. Ha ha ha. I've put everything out in public. Puzzle Master kinda makes sense in a Legion game, but otherwise there is something messing with my data.
It's not Legion though, unless it is Wartox. But that mean that Dull is not the Serenovus. It can't be both, and that make me confused.
The only reason I believe he is, and that you were mad is that ploy would be super hard to pull off. Especially if there really is a poppy grower.
Yeah, that's why I believe it. But that means it is not Wartox. I am the general.
The Undertaker said they might have received true info day 1 to make it look like they were getting true info the rest. But with Vortox, that can't happen. So, it must be bad info.
Because if it's not Vortox, what the hell happened to you? Is there a drunk?
No, just the Puzzle Master. Or Ins is the no-dash-E. Those are the only explanations. Or it's good info, and it is a Legion game. And you all have had some super clever plays. In the Legion worldview you are evil.
The Puzzle Master that I heard soft claim is not claiming it anymore.
I think it's a lunatic outsider personally. Due to how little we've heard of outsiders.
So, your wrong info makes sense if Ains is the no-dashi, and Morgan and Dull are minions. Or just Dull actually.
No, would have to be Morgan too. Or he's an outsider.
Morgan is the lunatic? Would the only outsider be Morgan? Would he be hiding that long?
Definitely possible. What is your general information?
Slightly good, neutral, good, slightly good.
The Savant info isn't adding up either. It did until Evil D claimed Pixie. Which I think is the first thing I've heard from them in 2 weeks.
Evil D did put a pixie on a 3-for-3 in Neighbor Whispers. The problem with the Savant info is the person giving it is ENZ. Who might be evil.
Right. I've trusted Ins all game. But like, I'm so unsure now. The all ones I'm getting is literally driving me insane. I may soon become the lunatic.
I was reading Groot as good, but if it is Vortox, I might have to flip that.
I've also trusted him all game. I know you aren't convinced, but I know that I'm good, and if that Savant info really is Vortox then Groot is evil. But, Dull as Sarah makes sense. Unless Groot is a Sarah and shows himself to make it look like Dull was a Sarah. Giving him good info.
After this conversation, I am honestly torn between you and Groot as evil. You made a really good argument for Vortox.
Which sucks because he was one of my main trusted. I think that Groot is Sarah and is making a big brain play. He is a smart cookie, and Beam is Vortox. Probably with Scarlet Woman. I legit can see both worlds and really don't know which is true.
Hello. Guess we just hard claim. I hope I wasn't drunk or poisoned at the time of my death. Because I was the farmer. Or I am the marionette.
Hello. Barring Mason or Beam being the no-dashi, I don't think there's any room for you to be poisoned. But my information is mostly out there already. I am the real Undertaker. Saw Morgan as artist, Dull as Serenovus, and Dolphin as marionette. Personally, I'm inclined to a Legion game at this point, which would unfortunately for you make you Legion in my world.
Marvelous. But no one outed as Sero Mad, no?
Pedro did. He claimed to be artist days 1 and 2. The only real sticking point I have with it is seeing Dull as Seer and Pedro backing off of Madness the same time. That's where Lil Monster plays better. But in a Lil Monster game, Nexus killed Drade to give Empath a free read on the last minion. You are the Night 3 kill, right? And nobody tried to reach out to you to claim Farmer after that.
No one tried to reach out me, but I think Beam might be a farmer, although I might be confusing limited word count semantics with hiding.
Fair enough. Last question. Were there any day 1 communications between Rob and CB that you saw? I'm trying to figure out if CB was claiming Poppy Grower to everyone right away or not. She's been claiming PG to me since she was CB. Hell, I'm almost tempted to kill her just to see if I might be marionette.
Could also see if I was no dashi poisoned. Still have Mason near me.
If she's no dashi, there's lots of bad info going about. Too much bad info. That's my big problem. Well, that and the complete lack of outsider claims. Oh, and to be clear. You are claiming that you started as farmer, right?
Correct. There might be a one less from Sentinel. And then a lunatic?
I would like to nominate Pedro. My accusation. The data says that one of two things is true. Either this is a Lil Monster game in which he is the third minion, or this is a Legion game in which he is Legion. In either case, he should be executed today.
My defense. If this is a Lil Monster game, and I am the last minion alive, it would be very mean of the storytellers to kill Dread last night to make the empath read me. And Legion doesn't make sense with your own information, Groot. I think the most reasonable world is that Asdar is just evil and lying about their info, and because of that I will counter-nominate Asdar. I would like to nominate Asdar. My accusation is in my defense. Plus, the Poppy Grower died after outing Poppy Grower to him.
Defense. If I was evil, I would have worked to make a world that made sense. Ha ha ha. I don't understand my empath ones, unless it's Legion. Which I still think it is. Or I'm getting bad info. I'm good, but I don't mind if I die. My only concern is if we do kill a good today, can we still win? I think so, but I'm not sure.
I would like to nominate Ends. My accusation is this is the continuing the streak of them being nominated every day. Ha ha ha. No defense.
I would like to nominate Groot. My accusation. Deferred to Mason.
Most likely in any world minion or Legion if they are not drunk by the demon. I would have believed their info until I heard that Dolphin was Marionette, because then it could only be a Lil Monster or there was a Scarlet Woman pass.
My defense. I'm Undertaker. I don't believe we can afford another good player being executed. Don't do this. Also, Legion can read as Marionette, and I think we're in Legion world.
The Union has produced another weapon of destruction, the Unionizer. Squeeze any two products together like human flesh and dirt to make the unionized Humert. 100% efficiency rate after we test it. Ends goes in and gets squeezed and the machine breaks midway. Unfortunately, Ends has to deal with the great 5 agonizing minutes before dying. Ends is executed and dies. And I would like to give my congratulations to the Nope team. Go to sleep. Alright, after many days of attempts, Ends is finally executed. We're left with Astadar and Groot on the good team, Pedro, Mason, Beam on the Legion team. What do we do next?
Oh my god, Ends is actually executed? I thought Ends was invincible for a second. You know, it took,
certainly seemed
took
like
a while. Yeah. Damn, so right now they have an empath and an Undertaker who's going to see the lunatic token. Istadar, I'm sorry, you're gonna get a 1 for the rest of the game. it's just
it's the only way it can be now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so clearly Legion has to die or it's game over, and
Yes.
and good does not deserve to lose on that alone. So between killing Pedro, Mason, and Beam, what are your thoughts on which ones would make the most sense to keep the game as balanced as possible?
Right now, for killing Beam today, I'm for killing Beam tomorrow. I think I'm between Mason and Pedro. More so, I think I originally think that Mason was a good kill, but unfortunately I realized that the empath would be getting a new reading on the new player. So unfortunately, if we actually do kill Mason, we have to deal with the empath getting a new reading on Pedro and Groot, which isn't the greatest thing. So I think we actually kill Pedro here, so the empath gets 2 new readings.
Right, so if he gets another 1, then that almost confirms for him Groot is good, and it makes it too easy to solve for good. So by killing Pedro, now you got two. You still get a 1, but now you have it on Groot and Mason, both of which are new reads. Therefore, it still leaves some question marks in the air, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today, right? So we'll get down to what'll be 1, 2, 4 left, and we'll see what town decides to do, whether they sleep or kill.
And if they kill a town, automatically loses, no matter who they kill. It's also worth noting that Groot and Iceland are getting really close to the solve. I'm not really sure why they trust each other so much, because info being wonky could mean that one of them's poison and one of them's evil, but it's okay. They're getting close to the solves, so it's great for the good team, but it's not really great for Legion. Legion is pushing back greatly, and a lot of this really depends on Ends and Savant info. There's been world building around it, but Ends and Savant info is fake, so let's see what happens.
We'll see. All right, here we go. Pedro dies in the night. This is your final 4. If you execute poorly, you'll lose. If nobody's executed, a possible Vortox win. Good luck.
Good morning, town. I saw Ends as the lunatic. So, Mason is Legion. The only question in my mind is about Beam. I honestly, truly, don't know about her. We can sleep, and if we're 2 on 2, Nexus mostly has to kill an evil. If we're 3 good alive, a good would die. But I don't know if forcing the storyteller's hand like that is fair play.
How am I Legion?
Well, I trust Astada. But I guess mechanically, from my point of view, it could be either of you. But if he gets a 1 on the 2 of us, and I'm not evil, which I'm not, you must be.
Wait. Ins, was all your info BS? At this point I think it's pretty safe to assume that there is no puzzle master. And if there was a Vortox, I don't think I would have gotten all 1s. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I've been neighbors with almost all of the living players, so unless the Vortox killed their own minions at night just to keep my info weird, I should have gotten a 0 at some point. So, assuming that is correct in the number of 1s I've received, I'm confident it is a Legion game.
My fortune teller information is, yes on Ends and Pedro. Yes on Ends and Ashtadar. No on Beam and Morgan. No on Dread and Groot. Yes on Pedro and Beam. My main theory right now is either we are okay to sleep, unless Ends was Vortox, and passed it to Groot, who is their Scarlet Woman. But in that world I'm just lying. I don't entirely trust Groot's info, but I am on the fence. There could be plenty of ways Groot has been poisoned. In the end, unless you think I'm Vortox, we should be fine with going to sleep. How I see it is we likely had a Scarlet Woman who caught a pass between Pedro or Ends. Pedro could have killed himself because we likely would have executed them in Final 3, so it was their last night to pass. Alongside that, we executed Ends, who could have been Dashi poisoning Groot, and now it is Beam who is poisoning Groot. Or at Lil Monster being passed around and Pedro could be red herring while Ends held night 2 and now Groot has it. Or I'm just puzzle master drunk and we should ignore all my info. Right now, I see all of us could be a demon. I extremely doubt Vortox because I got a no on 4 players, and even if I hit my red herring, I should have gotten a yes due to Vortox prioritizing permanent false info for town. I see Alistar also technically being evil in a small world, but that requires Groot and Ends to be evil, which I'm starting to doubt. So tomorrow I'll be voting for Groot or Beam, but would like to see some more info from the town. Yeah, all my info is made up. Ha ha ha. I think I'm the lunatic. If I'm throwing, I'm sorry evil. But I got given a Legion token. But I don't think I'm evil. I'll give all the info I had. Poppy grower in game. No snitch. Bluffs were Savant, Fortune Teller, and Pixie.
Okay, so, I think Mason or Beam is evil. And given Mason's pings are wrong. Wait, no, we want to wait a night regardless. Because if they are both Legion and we kill one, if they kill a good in the night, evil wins. The only thing that is wild to me at the moment is the Seranovis situation. Actually, I can't be sure the pings are totally wrong, ins could have been a red herring. But I'm certain it's Legion, and the jump to Beam doesn't make sense. If Beam was Legion and not the Poppy Grower and Dread was, then Mason should know if Beam is good or not. And I don't know why he would be pushing on Beam, except for the fact that if we kill today, we lose.
Okay. No dashy world building. Option 1. If ENS is no dashy, that throws Morgan's question out the window. Dull is still evil, because claiming Undertaker, and Astada should have gotten a 2 on Dull and ENS, so is the third evil. This leaves 2 Poppy Growers who are not backing down. Seems unlikely. Option 2. If Beam is no dashy, Morgan's question is valid. That means ENS and Astada are good. Dull is still evil. But Astada's numbers are good, which means Pedro is third evil. So, we have a Beam Dull Pedro team. Option 3. If either Mason or Pedro are no dashy, then the data of Astada, myself, and Morgan are all accurate, and Astada and I would have gotten bad data. Either Dolphin is not next to Demon or an evil ping on Pedro if Mason is no dashy. Option 4, Lil Monster World Building. Must be either Dull, Dolphin, Pedro or Dull, Dolphin, Astada. Either leaves double Poppy Grower and one leaves an odd storyteller kill. Seems very unlikely. Option 5, Vortox I've pretty much ruled out. I don't see any world where that is possible with the data we have. Which leaves Legion. In a Legion game, my data is accurate. Morgan's data is accurate. Astada's data has seemed accurate. Beam could go either way. ENS is almost certainly the lunatic in that case, but could we have an Astada, Beam good pairing with ENS evil? No. Because then AIS would have gotten a 2. If AIS is good, ENS is good. And if AIS is bad, ENS is good.
Honestly, the only thing I'm getting caught up on right now is the Pedro madness thing. It seems crazy coincidental if it wasn't legitimate. Anyone tracking chats? Did Dull and Pedro talk day 1 or 2? Other possibility is Pedro saw my madness break strategy and thought it would be a good play to throw the scent off of a Legion game, and Undertaker just happened to see Sarah off Dull. Which is a good play from Pedro, and showing Sarah isn't that bad off odds. There are only so many minions they can show. And Sarah is the minion that would throw the biggest winch in the info of the 5, I think, and makes sense for them to show.
I find ENS's outing of Lunatic Legion so sketchy. And while I appreciate what Mason was asking, it was very clear yesterday that Groot was pushing for ENS to be the lunatic. Despite me pointing out multiple flaws with the information, it was a hard lift. Which brings me to a key point. Look at the votes. If there's anything that can prove we have an alive Poppy Grower, it's the complete lack of votes, because if it is Legion, Evil is frightened of failing the votes, because there's still not 100% who is on their team.
Whether or not we believe it at the moment, this is worth noting. This implicates Mason. I think it's unlikely there are 3 goods alive in the end though, and I still think sleeping is the best call.
My vote is to sleep as well.
Since we are at the end, I wanted to make sure my information was public. I am the general. My info is slightly good, neutral, good, slightly good. I think Dread is the Poppy Grower. That's why good is doing well. Evil throw shade at each other.
Hey! What have you been claiming?
Chef. But I don't think any good player will trust that. I said it in public.
We are in dire need of an additional outsider. If ENS is the only outsider, we are toast. And it's going to be a really hard sell to execute a good player. Have you been considering what sort of a world will work with the public information, and your Chef Zero, that would lead to a world where we can kill either Groot or Astada?
I claimed Chef earlier in the game. Before I even knew the other Legion players. I can change my claim, if it is for the best, but maybe someone will notice. Maybe no one will notice, because I have been really quiet during the game.
Well, Groot and Astader, and I believe Ends all have grims full of roles. But if your neighbor whispered to Dull, and asked them to claim Outsider, I think that would make more sense than you pivoting after us speaking. It needs to be unconnected to me or Mason easily. Actually, Dull is in a hard double claim.
Oh no. Do you want me to whisper to Dal anyway?
Yes, I think so. Maybe ask them to claim something completely different, and maybe we could try look at them being potentially Serenivus mad. Also, I know it won't go anywhere, but if you could start trying to build worlds that work with a Chef Zero, that would be great. They don't have to be good worlds, but if you were good, you'd have to be thinking you're either drunk, poisoned or vortoxed. Or else it's a real zero, and then a Legion world makes no sense. Even a chef in a Legion game doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay, I'm thinking about that. Vortox seems the best chance I have. And I will whisper to Dal.
Perfect. If Groot is starting to doubt Astader, then it might be good to try poke towards that, but don't be afraid to push on me either. Either you'll look evil, and I'll look good, or you'll look good, and the chef becomes valid. But yeah, if it's Vortox, then you need to be worried about definitely getting an execution today. Otherwise, good will lose, right?
I would like to nominate Ends. My accusation. I'm nominating a dead body, so we don't lose to Vortox, if there is one.
I would like to nominate myself. My accusation is that I am clearly evil. My defense. I'm the Goblin. Evil team rise up. This is a certified Goblin claim.
Upon Enz's execution, you go to the warehouse on the sunset and see the lights are on at a weird time. You enter the factory to see Nexus and Grey Mason in some chamber. Could this be? No, it cannot be. Enz is executed and is already dead, but double dead. Go to sleep. Alright, another day, another nomination on Enz. Poor guy, can't even avoid execution when he's dead.
Yep. Ends went from being invincible to being on the block twice. Oh no. Right now we're down to our final four. Beam, we have Aistadar, we have Groot, and we have Mason. For the game to continue, we need Beam or Mason to die. And here's what I think is going to be dangerous. The empath reads, and because the Undertaker no longer wakes up because no one died from execution.
Yep.
So if we kill Mason, we are risking that the empath will get a 1 on Beam and Beam and Group, but there will be a really great double bluff there. Because would you trust that Beam is the Goblin? Maybe, maybe not. At the same time, if we do kill Beam, we still leave that relative 50-50 between them. And I think that's slightly a better option. Unless there's no real panic coming from Groot from the Goblin claim. But Aistadar will almost be convinced that upon the empath info there is that Beam is the little monster holding the demon right now.
Yeah. So for good team to win, of course, they'll have to nominate Mason. And a lot of information points that way. He's been bluffing the fortune teller. However, there are worlds and chats where both Groot questions Aistadar and Aistadar questions Groot, and there isn't 100% trust there still.
I think it's not only that it comes down to Aistadar and Groot, I think it also comes down to Morgan, Ends, and Dread. Ends and Dread are sort of in the back. Morgan is sort of like... Morgan is definitely not falling for the Legion thing. I think Morgan is pretty good here. I think the Legion has to convince Ends or Dread, and everyone... everyone has to go for it after that. It's just how it has to be.
That's true. You're right. So if you just need all of Legion and only one good player to pile on either Groot or Astar, whoever Mason nominates, and Legion still wins.
Or you need to tie it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's looking good for good, tough for evil. But you're right. It's if you can get Dread or Ends, even if Astar and Groot trust each other, if just one good goes with all Legion on Mason's nomination, it's still evil wins. Okay. Well, it'll be an exciting photo finish.
Also, Groot has the game solved. Groot is terrifying. I should have never given him Undertaker, but not like I had a choice.
Yeah. It the fact that Astar has now gotten a read on every single character in the game, Groot's seen so much information, but they still are not fully convinced. All right.
Yes.
Let's see what they choose to do on the last day.
I am 100 sold on Legion and will be voting for Mason. I think.
I think my role in this final will be to confuse the other players.
Overall, I don't know. I feel like this is a toss-up. One failed good vote, and good is screwed. Let's see who dies between Mason and Beam. As weird as the empath numbers are, and as strange as it was that Groot kind of called lunatic, I read them as good, so it leaves one of the others maybe.
I think the game is probably over. I'll be playing it really quiet from now on, but Good has played really well, and if I'm really honest, Evil didn't hustle enough to get a coherent story together. But we'll see how it goes.
I think we lost. Astadar and Groot seem to trust each other a lot. Beam basically outed Evil, so our chance is that Mason can convince Astadar that the one is on Groot and not on him. I just want to give Groot congratulations for understanding exactly everything that happened this game.
Basically what I said before. I can see a possible reason for a good Beam to do that, assuming she is Poppy Grower, but the fact she voted on herself kind of ruins it. So, I'm pretty happy with that world. And now, I cross my fingers and hope I read that all correctly.
My empath information is going to be useless unless I get it too. I'm getting the worst reads off Beam and Morgan. But mostly Beam after that last play. But if it's Legion like I think, they are either both evil or, I don't know. If Groot is evil, he has played me hard.
Feeling pretty good. The being almost outed as untrustworthy hopefully will help my fellows in this case.
You all suddenly come out of the gases of the warehouse. Through your slumber another dies. The body of Beam emerges. When you wake, you find a timer, ticking down to the end. It appears it's only a matter of time before it comes to a close. The end of it all. You only have 3 left. Groot, Mason, Ayastar. You have 24 hours for noms and whispers, and the rest to vote. Good luck.
Well, that didn't work. I was hoping I'd garner enough suspicion to stay alive, and collect whatever achievement Poppy Growers get for surviving the entire game. Congrats, Evils, you do have friends.
I would like to have a conditional nomination. If Groot nominates me, I nominate Ashtadar. And vice versa. Let's ensure final 3 all have a nomination on each other. I'm 99% sure we have 2 evil dead.
It's a Legion game. There are more than 2 dead. Also, Groot already put all that info together. It's mostly public anyway.
I still don't understand why it's Legion, to be honest. I'm pretty sure we went through this. This is why we need a round robin. I live in a world where Lil Monsta and No Dashi are still possible.
Unless someone claims wildly and suddenly changes, I have all that information already. But unless I'm Puzzle Master drunk, which seems extremely unlikely now, I'm certain it is Legion.
From my info, Monster is theoretically possible, but would have to be Dolphin, Dull, and Astada. But that leaves 2 dead Poppy Growers who aren't backing down. Which seems to be bordering on the impossible. If it's No Dashi, it has to be Beam or Mason, since Sims is a night dead farmer who didn't procedure.
In that case I think it's me, Morgan, Groot, and ends that are good in Legion. Also, good catch. Ha ha ha. But I wouldn't have asked to whisper with ends if I thought he was evil.
Yeah, I kind of think that too. It is possible Beam could be Pixie trying to keep being mad. It's hard to tell if the real Poppy Grower dies. I still don't know if there is a puzzle master or not.
I'd bet at least 3 lollipops it's a Legion game.
So, here's my big problem. And this is a big problem for me. Mechanically, both Astada and Mason could be the last good for me. I read Mason as evil here, but I'm notoriously bad at reading him. And this is the first game I've played with Astada, so I have no idea how well I'm reading him. Here is how I'm seeing this game as playing out right now. Game starts with a Poppy Grower in play. I have that down as Drade at this point in time. To kind of balance that, all the Legion get separate bluffs, but they are all also told that Ends is the lunatic. This is why Mason, bluffing as fortune teller, points his first pings there. After the artist question, and savant information, get a pretty solid trust circle going with Astada, Morgan, Ends, and myself. We have killed 2 Legion already. And Astada is about to get a 0 on the combo of Dread and Ends. Nexus has the choice at this point. Kill the Undertaker and hide the second Legion kill that way, but still give Empath a 0, or kill the Empath but show the Undertaker daft info. Or kill Evil and let Good bring the Poppy Grower into their alliance. Or do a combo and let Evil team up with each other. He kills the Poppy Grower, letting Astada still get a 1, this time on the combo of Pedro and Ends. And shows Daffy Marionette to me, hoping that I'll think I'm poisoned. At this point, I'm completely in a Lil Monster world. But for some reason, we decide to kill Ends instead. I'm still not quite sure why that lift happened. At which point Nexus has to choose again. Killing any Good puts the game in a 3 Legion versus 1 Good state, which isn't winnable for Good. So, he has to kill an Evil. Killing the known Evil of Pedro is the obvious choice, giving Astada another 1. But this time on 2 new targets, me and Mason. Last night's kill of Beam leaves us in that state and also a winnable 2 Good 1 Evil situation.
Usually, Legion games have 3 good. Max 4. Depending on how powerful. Usually investing the numbers is a good rule of thumb from the having Undertaker, Empath and Poppy Grower is such a hindrance to Legion it would be the 3 good would make sense. But adding Artist, and Lunatic, just makes it near impossible for Legion to win. If it was Puzzle Master, I would understand why having Artist is okay because you drunk a powerful roll between Empath and Undertaker. But having Sober Undertaker and Sober Empath Sober Poppy Grower. You are literally just saying if you don't get a good roll, you will lose this game.
I mean, I'm cool with there being no Poppy Grower. Still leaves me with figuring out if Empath or Fortune Teller is more likely. And the fact that your red herring would have to be on the lunatic feels wrong to me. And if you can explain how my data can be poisoned, without other data also having to be poisoned, I'm all ears.
If you think about it, what else would it be? If Poppy Grower is real, then it might be good to make the lunatic the red herring in order to sell that they are evil. I didn't hear a single claim that would make a better red herring than Poppy Grower, but I would never execute a Poppy Grower claim until Final 5.
I do trust you, Groot, but my main concern is the whole Sarah Madness thing.
Agreed. Coincidences do happen, though. As does storytellers following evil teams' lead.
My world is the Goods Army, the Artist, Aitada, the Empath, Ends, the Lunatic, and Groot, the Undertaker. This seems like a reasonable amount of information.
Empath. One's all game. Even today.
Artist, I asked. Is 2 or more of Aitada, Ends, or Beam evil? And got a no.
Given Legion token. But suspect that might be the lunatic. Bluffs were Fortune Teller, Savant, and Pixie. Was told a Poppy Grower was in the game. No snitch bluffs.
Undertaker. Saw Morgan as Artist. Saw Dart as Serenovus. Saw Dolphin as Marionette. Saw Ends as the lunatic.
Poppy Grower. Claimed it to just Groot day 1. Stayed quiet for a while, then started outing evil with no successful bites. Died last night.
Farmer. I died night 3. No one mentioned hearing of another farmer from that point onwards. Fortune teller. Yes, between Ends and Pedro. Yes, between Ends and Alistar. No on Beam and Morgan. No on Dread and Groot. Yes, between Pedro and Beam. Yes, between Ashtadar and Beam.
General. Slightly good, neutral, good, slightly good.
Poppy Grower.
General. I bluffed as Undertaker initially to Istadar, and after day 2, I've been Zero mad for some reason. Learned neutral on my one alive night.
Groot would like to nominate Mason. My accusation. He is the last Legion.
The corpses of Nexus and Grey Mason are revived. It's time for the final uphill fight. Mason, Astadar, and Groot each fight valiantly to defeat Nexus and Grey Mason, but to no avail. It appears only a blood sacrifice is enough to bring this town to get rid of these spirits. Your 3 brave heroes fought till their death, but one was a secret saboteur, and you have to weed them out. Almost every single person voted on Mason, and for that it appears it's time for Mason to die. Mason's blood is spilled around the chambers, contaminating them with human blood. Nexus and Grey Mason go berserk and end up killing each other. Astadar and Groot stare at each other. Their camaraderie is remarkable, but each walks up to each other, inch by inch, holding their hands in their pockets. Mason is executed and dies. The game is over. They reach into their pockets, and once they revoke their hands, a huge hug is incoming. They realize none of them are working for that wretched Panda Institute. Congrats go to Groot on solving the game, and congrats go to the good team for winning. I'm sorry, Astadar, for all those ones as empath. Great work, team. I hope you enjoyed the game. Please click subscribe for more episodes.